Could sometimes it's gonna hurt. If you're ever gonna get that back, then you better plan your attack. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger than you show it. You're braver than you know Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Ticking like a bomb, falling in motion, center of the stage, hoping that we'll be right. Back again. You gotta help me out, help me out. Riding coasters to dream your eyes. You gotta help me out, help me out. Swimming oceans to breathe your air. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you hang up again, baby. I just can't be alone tonight.
February 28th, and this is your North American Rival Series. I'm Tom F. Battinger. I'll be sitting in the host seat today, and joining me alongside will, of course, be our very own Supersonics and Stacks. That's twice I've made you plural. How you doing today?
I'm just that awesome. I'm two people in one. I'm doing great. It's been a pretty fun day so far. Crazy matches for us on the European side. We'll see if North America ends up being the same or not.
Yeah, hey, one of him's enough, okay? We don't need two. Just like one of me is enough. You don't need to make... How would you even do a plural of stacks?
Staxuses.
Stacks on stacks, and we got teams on teams here in North America. Right up on top, I mean, this is something that me and Stacks love. Stromboli, undefeated. 3-0. Frankly, Mirage and Omni Nation also undefeated. But Stromboli bringing a different sort of something. They've been very, very fun to watch. My eyes also on Charlotte Phoenix. They're tied up there in that 4, 5, 6 spot 1-1, but they have the best game differential here, and I think that they will join that upper echelon of the 1-2-3 scene as well. Shout outs to Jacob down there at 72 Pin Connector. Has to pick up some wins because they're not coming his way. Let's take a big look at North America, though. What what teams are you feeling now that we're 3 weeks in?
It's very rare for an 0-3 player to get a shout out. That's impressive. No, I'm looking forward to seeing the Charlotte Phoenix later on because they've been a mixed bag so far, and of course the competition has dictated that a lot. But what's interesting for me is you've got all these teams that already have a loss, some that have 2, yes, some that have 3. That they're going to be looking up at these teams that are 3-0, a pair that are 2-0 that we're going to see later on today. And, they're going to be hoping that somebody can eventually knock off this Stromboli side because, again, the more losses at the top, the better it looks for some of these teams that have already lost 2 or 3 times.
Well, that's who's going to be playing. Let's take a look at what they're playing for. We're here in the Rival Series, and up above us is the Championship Series, and that's the big cookie. If you're number 1, you automatically go on up. The number 10 team will come join us here. 2 and 3 will face off against the 8th and the 9th place team from the Rival Series in that promotion tournament, and everybody will be fighting for Season 10. Of course, there's money on the line as well. We've got 13 Thou for number 1 up there on top, 10, 9, 8 for win, place, and show, and then of course 2,000 for numero 10. There we go. We're North America, baby. So when it comes down to it, I mean, you've got the seed money to continue and keep on trucking, but everybody's looking for the Championship Series. And the big storyline, if you're just joining us here in week number 3, is that there are a bunch of players that have already been up to the Championship Series, and they are trying their best to return there. So Stacks, as we look at today's sort of games, I asked you earlier, and you said you were excited about some of the teams.
Yeah, I was excited for the Charlotte Phoenix match at the end of the day. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But I think this first one that we've got coming up here is a nice kind of callback to last season because, you had last season it was the Zookeepers. Now they get picked up by RBG. But the rosters are identical from last season. It's the same 6 players on Chaos and now RBG. And I don't know. I feel like this RBG team this time around, they definitely seem a lot more prepared for the challenges ahead. But actually putting that together on the field, that's the big challenge.
We'll certainly keep that in our mind. Stacks leading us into our docket today. RBG will be taking on Chaos Esports Club. RBG, the lone team here with only 1 game behind themselves, unfortunately, on the bad side. Mirage and Omni Nation, that's 2 and 3. That'll be a nice one. Warriors International and Absolute Leverage go head-to-head. And then Charlotte Phoenix take on Stromboli. I implore you, stay here the whole time. Match 4 is going to be the one to take home here. We heard Stacks talk about RBG and Chaos. Which match are you looking towards, Supersonic?
I'm liking the RBG Chaos match as well. This is going to be a fun one. That Absolute Leverage one, though, I'm a fanboy for Wonder Mike right now, and I'm hyped to see if he can have a repeat week, because last week was a showstopper for him.
Yeah, I mean, watching Wonder Mike really kind of capture the hearts of players here has been a lot of fun, and we will visit him a little bit later. Chaos Esports Club and RBG are how we're going to start our day. Taroko has been catching a lot of eyes. Mectos and Corrupted G will be Chaos Esports, and RBG will be Tool, Bambi, and Porklet. They find themselves at number 8 in the standings here. Stacks, you started talking about these guys. We have a small sample size, and that said, it is a poor showing, but they lost against Omni Nation, who's one of the better teams. So realistically, what kind of information can you grab from what we've got here?
Well, you can look at these two teams, and of course, all the familiarity of having played together all throughout last season, the previous offseason, this offseason coming in. The thing that I like about RBG this time around is they had to go through that play-in again, so they had to go through that whole process. They had to kind of sweat it out, and I think that actually brings you together a little bit more as a team, because it's that sense of accomplishment, like, hey, we had our backs against the wall. All of this over the past, year was going to be all for naught, but they managed to pull through and get to this spot. As for how they've played this season, I think it's very obvious that Chaos is the better team coming in.
Sure.
But you play the games for a reason, and so often we have seen, you go back to last season, Linked Up was never supposed to beat the Charlotte Phoenix. They were supposed to clinch the #1 seed on the B stream, and Linked Up came up and just smoked them. So you take any team less than 100% seriously, they will come up and they will shock you.
Supersonic, give us your thesis. What's going to happen in this match today?
I'm with Zax. I think Chaos is definitely the better team coming into this. It's kind of hard to get a read on them, though. They have a loss and a win.
Yep.
Win against who's currently the number 10 team, and a loss to who's currently the number 1 team.
But
they did look strong, and they did take one. They're the only one to take a match down off of Stromboli, which is that number 1 spot. Unfortunately, Stromboli figured them out immediately following that up in game 2, 3, and 4 and shut them down. But they've showed signs of life there, and they're the only ones that have been able to do it so far, which I think speaks volumes to them as a team. And I think that they're going to be a bit much for RBG to deal with.
Well, that said, I mean, it sounds like I know where the conversation's going. Predictions on the line here, and we've kind of set the table here. Chaos Esports Club seems to be the favorite. Yes?
Yeah, I'm going with Chaos Esports Club here. RBG has had some moments where they've showed some signs of life, a couple nutty shots from Bambi. Porklet had a bullet shot in his last match from Tool, but there just wasn't enough consistency of that to apply any real pressure. I don't think that they're going to be able to take it down, and Chaos is going to have this one.
Yeah, I got Chaos as well. Look, they played last season. It was 3-1 to Chaos. They outscored Zookeepers at the time 14-7. That included, I think, a 5-0 or a 5-2 game. It was not pretty, and I imagine hunting season is still in effect here. I think that Chaos is going to take out Bambi and RBG.
I'm right here with you guys. I think the Chaos Esports Club has kind of proven themselves against Stromboli. Listen, Stromboli, hilariously enough, has been a surprising team that is smoking everybody. And just one win, sure, they lose the match, but getting that step into Stromboli, I think, is very, very impressive. And watching them be able to do that, even with, I almost don't care who's across the match from them. If you're able to kind of, get a gut punch in versus Stromboli, you got something going for you. So I'm here with Chaos.
I mean, that's still a big statement for all the other teams too. It let them know that Stromboli does bleed. You can take shots at them. They can go down, and Chaos is the only one to do so.
One thing I will say before we get into the action, though, is the fact that RBG, we've only seen one match. It is a small sample size, and Omni Nation is one of the teams that are going to be on the good side of this league as well. So we have a thumbs up and a question mark, not a thumbs down. Don't be surprised if Chaos wind up with an L. Last licks before we get in. You guys have anything to say before we jump in?
I've been really impressed with how Corrupted G has fit into this Chaos team, because he came in last season joining Taroko and Mekdos, and it looked like a struggle for him to find his spot with this duo that was running roughshod all over all the tournaments in NA.
Sure.
But he finally did, and at just the right time, and they almost found themselves promoting. I think that they're going to keep that momentum going here.
We'll see if the momentum will be on the field, because it's certainly here. Stranger will grab the camera, and Supersonic and Sax will grab the microphone. The players will grab the ball. Let's grab the game.
So it is as must-win as it can get for both of these teams, because it doesn't look like the teams up at the top are coming down to them anytime soon. These other teams that are already on 1 loss and even 2 as you get further down the standings, I mean, they've got to get on the horse. They've got to go chase these other teams down. Sure, Mirage and Omni Nation, one of them's going to take an L, but everybody else, I mean, you might have to get, say, 7 wins to get into that top 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for the top, and I think that you're absolutely right. It is a match that matters to both of these teams. RBG coming in 0-1 so far. You don't want to start the season off 0-2, just making it even harder. If Chaos, though, can pick up a win here, they're sitting solid middle of the pack, and the players at the top and the teams at the top are within an attainable reach. They can get there. They can climb up. And I think that Chaos is going to be one of those teams that can compete up there in that top 3, maybe just out of the top 3, sitting number 4 seed. But I expect them to finish in the upper half of the season. I'm not sold on RBG yet.
Well, this is a good chance for RBG to also prove what they actually have on their roster, to just prove what they're made of and show that, yes, they can compete with some of the upper echelon teams in North America. Of course, it's a different look from what we saw last season from RBG. That former team is now Flight up in the RLCS. And I wonder if this Zookeepers team, with all that experience from last year coming into 2020, maybe not necessarily this season. I think that's a huge step up if they want to make that leap to the promotion tournament and into the RLCS. But at least get into the top 6, contend for even a top 4 finish. Just, if nothing else, keep your spot for next season. And then all of a sudden, by the end of 2020, or whenever the next season would happen to be, then all of a sudden you got something to build on here. And, these players that were at the bottom of the league before, they start to become household names.
Yeah, it definitely sets you up if you can at least maintain your spot in the league to have a better positioning going into the next season, especially if you're at the top and upper half of those groupings of players that are staying in. Now you're familiar with the majority of the people there. You know where the teams below you are. You have a lot of information going into the next season, which sets you up to possibly get into those positions to play for the RLCS in the next round. Again, though, it becomes a bit of a battle, especially if you get into that upper 2 and 3 spot and you end up getting to go up against, people like Cloud9 G2. Sometimes those promotional tournaments become a bit chaotic or a little bit lopsided. I'm interested to see how this one plays out this year.
Yeah, and I've got a soft spot for a team like RBG, who are formerly Zookeepers, because, again, they made that decision so early on to commit to staying together as a team. And it's so rare in this environment where we see sometimes players get dropped at the roster lock deadline, and it's a situation that nobody wins out on except for the Birds last season, now E United. But we see so many times players are willing to just change rosters almost seemingly because somebody hit a double tap in ranked one time and I have to have this player instead. And for this group to stay together, I think that's going to serve them very well throughout the entire calendar year.
I think it's great when you can find a set of guys that have decided that they have a goal that they want to achieve, and we are going to go after and we are going to attack in that manner. That shows a lot emotionally that they're not emotional. They're focused on the task at hand. We'll see if that ends up getting it done for them.
So we are underway in our first matchup of the day, Chaos and RBG. This Tool will start things off for the new look RBG squad. Of course, the org did say when they released the old RBG roster, they were not going to be gone for long, and it did not take them very long to pick up the Zookeepers. That shot's going to go well wide, but Bambi's there now. Corrupted G takes out Tool, and that took out Bambi's centering option, so Turoko and company can try to clear this away. They don't do so. This Corrupted G will be called on, and this is going to drop in front, but nobody's there.
Really, Control's been on the side of RBG so far. We've been basically just sitting in the Chaos half. Tool, he's going to bring that back in, and Over tries to put one up high. Corrupted going to knock it away. Speed feels pretty good so far out of RBG.
Well, it will be Corrupted G trying to dribble around RBG. And Turoko does lob one up for Mekdos, who doesn't have any more teammates to work with. Didn't need them almost. That one is saved away. Porklet, with no boost whatsoever, will steal some out of the end. Go hunting after Mekdos, and because Mekdos had to avoid him, Tool's able to score.
They've been aggressive so far. I really like it. RBG, moments before, were making some challenges. Demo in the middle of the field, an early cut from Tool. They're aggressive in that midfield over the ball, and they're attacking the net. Working out well. see if that ends up staying. If it stays the case, we have seen so far today a couple times where a team has something going in game 1. If they can't get it going in game 2, though, they tend to fall apart. So,
yeah, again, 3-1 the result when they met last season, but certainly a lot has changed. And Tool has changed a lot here. He's got his second goal of the series.
3-17, 2-0, both coming at the hands of Tool, just firing them in. A little bit of a defensive breakdown out of Chaos.
Yeah, this is an RBG team that when they played last season, they did not fare very well on the offensive end at all, and even worse defensively, but seem to have shaken out the cobwebs, and of course a lot of time playing together will fix those. This will be Tool. Z gets stuck on the wall. Corrupted G for Mekdos, who does win the race. Corrupted G coming on, will not get a shot off as Bambi clears, and this is going towards the Chaos net, and I believe it goes in off of a green car.
It went in off of Mekdos here. Bambi gonna make an odd touch there as he comes down off the wall. Touches it right out in front of Mekdos, who had pre-flipped to get some speed there. Ends up connecting on the ball, putting it in the net. That is a goal, Mekdos, but it is the wrong end of the field.
Credit the goal to Porklet. So 2 for Tool, 1 for Porklet off the incidental pool shot. And now Porklet lobbing another ball inward, and this is trouble for Taroko and Corrupted G. But it will be Taroko recovering, and with 30 boost, he will find Mekdos. Will he find a teammate in front? No, he will not. Instead, it's coming back the other way, and a very quick counterattack on the part of RBG. They're not going to let Chaos get close and give them any time to get back. And as a result, it looks like Chaos going to be a little hesitant moving forward, and that's where RBG can strike.
It feels like the third man in the rotation right now on the side of Chaos isn't getting there. There's been a couple balls that have gone off the backboard, balls that had space with some opportunity, and that third man's just not there. The offensive attack just seems a bit slow.
Popped away for Corrupted G to track, but he won't get to this ball. Porklet will, and he'll score off the assist from Bambi.
No slowdown out of RBG. This ball going out, and he is already up. Porklet there before the ball even touches the backboard, has the read, clean touchdown into the net.
4-0 to RBG. And it's really starting to feel like all season long, anybody that I give the nod to in the old prediction arenas is getting the old kiss of death. This is going to be off to the corner.
Yeah, see, I thought that that's what it was, and I tried to go opposite of you in week 1 on one of them, and I got punished for that. So I can't win if I go with you or against you. So you're doing better than I am.
If not for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. I need you to know that. This will be Mekdos trying to clear one away. Get anything going at all for Chaos Esports Club, who, again, they were part of that promotion tournament last season. They had a couple chances to promote to the RLCS. Mekdos will get one back here, but they've only got 60 seconds to work with.
Nice aggression out of Taroko to really open that play up as he takes the defender down the wall and out. Corrupted not able to get that one down, but gets the ball back up. Mekdos able to put that one away.
So the final minute will burn off the clock. Will Mekdos bring them any closer? He really should have, because the defender missed on that touch. Taroko does kiss the ceiling, but will not do much else with this, and he will at least steal some boost, but because he did that, nobody's home on the other side. Bambi scores, and that means everybody from RBG ends up in the score sheet.
Feels good when you can all get on the board. Little team chemistry, have some fun with it.
Everybody shoots, everybody scores.
Everybody shoots, everybody scores. That's the best way.
5-1, and perhaps counting more. There's nothing saying RBG can't score anymore. They looking to maybe pay back what they suffered at the hands of Chaos a season ago. They gave up 5 goals on 2 different occasions. They are a far cry from that now. This will drop down. pass out to Taroko. He'll get one back. A small consolation, if nothing else.
One of the things that I am noticing, though, RBG breaking plays up in the middle. They're slowing the ball down. Unfortunately, this one didn't work out, but right before this score did happen, there was a slowdown in the middle of the field, trying to buy some time for the teammates to get back. That first guy is making a lot of good touches on the ball to slow it down and allow them to... Ooh, thought that one was going to go in. Porklet just gets a piece of it.
That would have added a semblance of interest into the proceedings at the end, but it does remain a 3-goal lead for RBG, and it will be, in fact, a 3-goal victory for RBG Esports as they take down Chaos in Game 1. And again, they just jumped on Chaos very early on, didn't let them even come out of the blocks in this opening game. And if you're Chaos on the other side, you kind of feel okay about the goals at the end, but they were in garbage time and they didn't really mean a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm not worried on the RBG side of those final goals. They really didn't mean a ton. You could tell that the RBG was playing up a little bit more. They didn't have that third man back as far, left the net open a little bit. I don't think it's anything to be worried about. On the RBG side, there's a lot to be happy about right now, though, as all of them get on the board, outscoring 5-2, as we just saw. Great play, and if they can maintain that, they want a 3-0 here, because next week they've got Stromboli, so you want to build the momentum now and come in feeling good next week. Yeah,
what a time to maybe reach your peak is right when you're about to face some of those top teams, especially Stromboli, as good as we have seen them so far this season. Not getting too far ahead of ourselves, though, looking at that matchup. Back to this one, they've got a lot of business to take care of still with Chaos. Got to take 2 more games. If you're Chaos now, what does it take to get them back into this and kind of flush this one from their memory?
Defense to quick transition. The defense side's breaking down. If they can get in there and get a couple stops, get the ball moving back into the offensive half, quick pass out to the side or an infield pass, get something going early and quickly, get that momentum, get those goals that just feel like you just demolished the other team. They had no chance at it. Get something to get your morale up.
1-0 in the series to RBG. See what they have for a follow-up as that pass is dropped down from Tool towards Porklet. Blown up, though, by Corrupted G before he ate a demo. And now Mektos in the general direction of Taroko, but he wisely decides to rotate back, and he'll be able to help Corrupted G. Not that he needed it at the moment. Bambi down to Porklet. Big drive, upper 90, and Porklet strikes first.
Yeah, Corrupted tried to bring this one out. Bambi with the placement right on the money to Porklet and just a boomer into that upper 90. Well passed, well shot.
I say a job well done all around by RBG so far in this series. Get a demo on Taroko to start things off on the ensuing kickoff. And it will be Mektos. Possession given away. Bambi trying to find Tool, but that's another power clear. It'll find Mektos on target. And as slow as Chaos was getting back a couple of times, this time it happened to RBG.
That's what I'm talking about. I was looking for them to get some quick passes out into the open field. Nice infield pass into the air. Mektos able to get up. Beautiful redirect. Get those ones that they just cannot react to. Get the speed. Ooh, nice reaction there from Corrupted to get up into the mid and break that one up. Gives Taroko an opportunity at a shot.
So what does RBG have for an answer? Oh, what a touch from Porklet. Should be an open net, but he didn't get any power behind this. I think he was just a little indecisive, and boy, did it cost him.
Had he not gone up for that, Bambi was coming in behind him, full speed. Bambi could have put some power on that shot, and on the angle that he was at, he probably would have put it into the left side in that far corner away from the defenders. That might have been a communication breakdown there. I think Bambi should have called him off.
Now Taroko had to kind of hover through the air to get a piece of that, and it starts a counterattack back the other way. Mektos strikes again.
That's 2 in a row, 2 quick ones. Nice pass out. Mektos up for the redirect once again. Just throw the ball at him. He'll find home.
2-1 for Chaos. We've seen so many times a team will take a lopsided W in game number 1, but all of a sudden all it does is add fuel to the fire on the other side. That's what seems to be happening here as Chaos are striking back with a vengeance. Another drive on target that Porklet has to clear. Now Taroko back towards Mekdos, and more trouble defensively for RBG. They survived this time, but how many more chances can they afford to give Chaos? That's going to be saved away, and Tool will carry it out.
Taroko unable to react to that great touch there from Mekdos to open up another possibility. Just off the mark is Tool. That should have been a goal right there. That is a huge blown opportunity.
And your heart breaks because that was a very selfless play. A lot of players might have just tried to dribble in, make an awful flick that ends up, you know, about 3 car lengths above the crossbar. Instead, he makes the great pass and is not rewarded with an assist. Now RBG goes back to the drawing board, and they don't have to wait very long. Tool will slam one home.
That shot coming out of Porklet looked like it was going to be wide. Tool recognizing it, though, gets a quick turn, able to get back and redirect that ball back on target. Tying it up 2-2, 2:20 left to go here in game number 2.
Past the halfway mark, past the halfway line as Mekdos trying to work off of that feed from Taroko. Now Corrupted G is going to try to harass Tool. That's going to get over Taroko, and it could be trouble for Chaos.
Seems to be okay as RBG respected him going up for it, expecting the touch, which you would expect that here in the rival series. Every now and then, though, somebody has a whiff.
I think the story of this game so far, this one game in particular, has been missed opportunities. Plenty of them, actually, on the part of RBG, yet here they are still tied at 2 apiece.
This should
Meanwhile,
easily be
Chaos, this could be one, but Corrupted G pushes it wide off the first touch and can't bring it back in front for Mekdos. So now here comes Bambi.
You're absolutely right, though. It should be 4-2, 5-2 right now. A lot of missed opportunities on the offensive half from RBG to start this one in game 2. But their defense is holding up. They're keeping themselves in the match. A little bit of danger there, and Tool going to clear that one out.
Porklet with a power clear, trying to get across midfield. It does not work out. That ball's lobbed back in, and it is trouble. Taroko blocked by Tool. And how fitting that Tool made the save, because it was his mess to clean up. Now Mekdos from the ceiling, trying to get one more to carry that by Bambi. Has not worked out. Taroko doesn't even try. Instead, it'll be Corrupted G left to defend against a pair of RBG attackers, which he does. Now Taroko to Mekdos, and I think he got a piece of that, but the shot blocked in front by Bambi, and it was just enough to fend off another attack. Down to 20 seconds as Mekdos shoots one on, easily saved by Bambi. But it's the follow-up that you have to worry about, and Taroko thought about having a look. Now he will, but again, that indecisiveness cost him an opportunity, and with 10 seconds left, we are staring down the prospect of overtime. Unless we have some last-second heroics. The ball played even further back by Chaos, and this will float towards the net, but cleared away, and that should take us to OT.
That was scary on the defensive side there a moment ago. On the RBG side, as they almost triple committed on the ball. 2 of them stayed with it, battled each other for the ball, and almost on goal. 2 shots come by, and both going to be off target.
Well, a lot of players on that kickoff in overtime went to go get boost, and as a result, Chaos won the kickoff and won the battle and the game. Corrupted G with a beautiful double to finish off RBG and tie the series.
Yeah, he coming in with that veteran presence on the team. Corrupted, not fazed by this OT whatsoever. Really nice, clean double tap there off that back wall, able to put it down and in. Ties it up. RBG, Chaos, both looking pretty good here in this match, but I still think the story was that RBG let a lot of opportunities kind of fall to the wayside. A couple missed opportunities there that game could have gone very different.
and they only had 5 shots as a team. I mean, the shots are lopsided 15-5 in favor of Chaos. And while those numbers
feel that way.
I know, while those numbers look staggering, it didn't feel that way. As you mentioned, it felt like it was a back and forth game for the most part with RBG. I think because they had so much possession with so few shots, that probably skewed the perception.
They also had a lot of big clears that came out. I know Mekdos came from like midfield to just kind of catch and drag a couple away that were landing near the box. So there's those numbers are a little skewed just by the types of shots that were occurring. I don't think they were real shots on net. A couple of them off, wide, left or right, but close enough. It felt very evenly matched. It didn't feel like, what was it? You said 15-5?
Yeah.
It didn't feel that way at all to me.
Yeah, 15-5 for Chaos. And again, this is a team in Chaos that beat this team last season 14-7 on the scoreboard over 4 games. It does not look like that kind of one-sided series this time around, and it's a treat now to watch how far this RBG team has come. What a difference just a few months makes as we kick it off again in Game 3. Put somebody on match point. At the end of this 5 minutes, it could be RBG if they can convert shots like that, but that's one that Bambi's going to want back.
Had nice power on it, just wasn't able to get it on the mark. Nice pass.
And even better defense, too, by Portland, because that's got to be a quick read, and he jumped right in front of the shot coming on. It's so easy to overlook quality midfield defense like that, and we see it all the time in the rival series.
I love watching midfield probably more than the defensive goal line stance. One may be a lot more hype to watch, but that midfield player is the guy that kind of controls the pace and tempo of the game, and a lot of the times is dictating where that ball's going.
I know all the kids these days like the high-scoring, 7-6 games, and for that, I say what Flakes always says, go play once and get off my lawn. I like a good 1-0 battle as much as the next guy. This will be Corrupted G playing it out to Taroko. That's a clever pass. He got the shot off, and it's saved away by Tool. He just barely got a piece.
Another opportunity there, Mekdos. Very smart to not go in for that. There could have been baited into a situation that would have left their defenseless. Tool with a light touch, and Bambi with the quick reaction, but Mekdos gonna come through and fire that one back home.
It is Mekdos who scores off the assist officially from Taroko, but there's Corrupted G picking up the scraps in the net, making sure nobody could make the save. Chaos Esports Club up very early on here in Game 3. And, Corrupted G, he's making his presence felt without actually lighting the lamp himself. He's yet to actually score a goal in this series, but it hasn't mattered because of his presence everywhere else on the field.
He's had great presence in the assist side, and he's also been there on the defense. On the offensive side, if he's not getting an assist, he's at least in there and making his presence known. He's got bumps, he's aggressive, he's getting demos, he's opening up the plays for the rest of the team, making their lives easier.
Made a couple good challenges to get Chaos on the offensive end, at least for a brief moment. And that's a possession they're going to keep going on here as Portland's going to have to climb up. And he'll need one more touch. Now finally a shot on from RBG. That's sent away. What else can they do, though? Can they sustain this pressure? Try to get back into this game. It's another shot on from Portland. Didn't get any power behind it. Now Taroko downfield on an empty net, and he'll score.
Chaos turning things around here, bringing the momentum into this match after getting that OT win in the last round. I also want to correct us. Did we say Corrupted didn't have a goal yet? He scored the OT goal.
He did score the OT goal. Yes, there we go.
About to say, I was like, wait a second.
I knew that. I was just making sure.
That man did some things. I think he's done some things.
Yet to score in regulation. There. Now I'm technically correct.
We apologize for taking that from you, Gabe.
Which,
we will give it back.
Jeeves will tell you, is the only kind of correct that matters. Portland thought about coming up to midfield. He'll let Corrupted G take possession, and now Corrupted G seems determined to score a goal, but instead he's dispossessed by Tool. Now Bambi around Mekdos, through Corrupted G, trying to get a piece of Taroko, but it all takes so long to develop that Chaos completely recovers on the defensive end. The ball is cleared downfield, and that attack dies off.
Gets it past two,
Oh,
but doesn't get the third touch to get it around that last guy either, and it was just kind of how hard he was cutting the ball around the players. It made it take just a bit too long.
Now it'll be given away to Bambi. Up against Mekdos. Now Porkland wants the ball. He's got Tool, and he'll roll it right through 2-1.
A little bit of life showing up here for RBG as we approach the final minute and a half of this match. Still down one, they got a little work to do, but quick passes like that open nets up real quick.
This series has been a treat to watch. Outside of game one, where it was nice to see RBG get off on the right foot very quickly. He almost got one off the kickoff. Now Porkland out of the corner. That's going to go through Mekdos. A dangerous moment for Chaos defensively. It is Chaos in front of their net. Now Corrupted G will take over in the corner, and that's the calm veteran presence that Chaos wants, controlling the ball while everything is going haywire around them. Another pass over towards Bambi, and Taroko jumps in the way.
Taroko and Corrupted both double committing on that. Could have been dangerous, but there was no one there to follow it up. Bambi might have another touch here. That's another missed ball that could have been a good pass opportunity. That's a couple of them so far this round for Bambi. Some of those lingering issues from game two starting to carry over into game number 3 here.
Yeah, that's taken too much time to try and do too much. And then Tool couldn't control his car or the ball, but Bambi dunks another one through. Taroko has that go dangerously in front of the net, but Corrupted G will take over. Now here's Porkland. All hands on deck offensively now for RBG. Time to throw caution to the wind as they try to find an equalizer with 15 seconds left. Drop down to Tool, trying to beat Taroko, and he does!
14 seconds left on the clock, and RBG ties it up. High chance that we're going to be doing another overtime round here in match number 3.
Yeah, 14 seconds left. Overtime number 2 is looming. Unless, again, somebody can do something about that. They have 9 seconds to do so. Bambi for Tool, and that's intercepted by Corrupted G. So it will be Chaos Esports Club getting the last look in regular time, and we will go to extra time.
Boost consumption 100% going the way of RBG. They're playing quick. They're playing super aggressive. If Chaos looks for these opportunities, I think they're presenting themselves. Wait for them to come on the attack. They're pushing all 3 guys. They're spending a lot of boost, and they're leaving themselves open. So I'd almost say do a little bit of defense here and then look for a quick one. These haven't worked all day for anybody. These attempts to just carry the ball out. You need to start looking for a few more passes.
You have 2 teammates on the field, though we've seen teams use their opponents as well, and a ricochet off to the side that Taroko will take advantage of. Sometimes it just works out your way, and it did for Taroko and Chaos.
So I didn't get to see. Bambi was up. He's the guy that's supposed to be challenging that ball there. Where were the other 2? They're playing super aggressive on the offensive side, and they're not having a third man back. So if you can get that pass off the sidewall and get a second touch, that might be the play to get around RBG here as they go into game number 3. I'd love to see Chaos try and look for some more sidewall passes to themselves, just some quick shots.
100% goal participation for Taroko, 2 goals and 1 assist for himself. Nobody assisted on Taroko's goals. That's par for the course. He does that from time to time. He will take over games, and if you don't account for him, this is the kind of thing that happens. And now, after a pair of 3-2 overtime victories, everything RBG did for the first 5 minutes of this series has been washed away. They find themselves with their backs up against it.
And I talked about that a little bit earlier, where we've seen these matches go the way of one team for match number 1, and when there's been kind of a blowout, these other teams are reacting well. They're recovering, and they're figuring out what the issue is and correcting that, and then making plays in games 2, 3, and 4. This is almost the story of what happened to Chaos in last week against Stromboli, where they figured it out, and Stromboli came back and started giving them the hands.
Well, in the words of the very talented John Cooper, they need a hero right now. RBG Esports, their backs are against it. They're down 2-1 to Chaos Esports Club. We got Game 4 on Utopia Coliseum. coming your way here. And again, if Chaos can take this, they're home free, get to 2-1, and they'd be pretty happy with that, I would think, to start this season. Of course, the key, as always, and it would certainly apply to these two teams, especially Chaos, win when you're not necessarily at your best. I think anybody who knows these guys knows that they can play a lot better than they have. They have been pushed to the limit by RBG Esports. Of course, the other half of that is if you let a team hang around long enough, that can also come back to bite you. And this RBG team, again, they are certainly hanging around. In fact, they're hanging around on the offensive end. Only for a moment. Who's going to come up here? It is Bambi off the demo by Tool, and Portlet will give chase to the corner.
This so far feels similar to game number 1, where it started off a little slow, but the presence was all RBG as they kept the ball stuck in the Chaos half. So far this first minute, it's definitely going the way of RBG.
Downfield towards Taroko. Again, the last person that RBG wants to see all by himself with the ball. So now they'll try Mekdos, which is also not a good option if you are an on-watching defender.
I don't know if any of them bringing the ball towards you is a good option. All three of these players can definitely make it happen any day of the week out here on the pitch.
I think I would be okay with Corrupted G bringing the ball downfield coming at me, because at least that means he's not going to demo me, because he has racked up more than his share over the early season so far. Mekdos needs to get this out towards midfield. Does get the ball by Bambi, but Bambi knocks him off the ball, and it will be Portlet now. He has Tool to his left, but the ball goes right, and Bambi does not. Now Taroko against Bambi. Oh,
The
dance
fakes.
my pathetic puppet dance.
Taroko around one, gets it past Tool, brings it down, acts like he's going for it, gets Bambi to jump and just sneaks it in on that lower corner. Beautiful play.
Whew. All right, cut
That
the
was
strings
dirty.
off him there. 1-0 to Chaos. And that is what Taroko is capable of time and time again, and it never gets old watching it happen. Great pass out to mid. Portlet didn't get anything behind the shot, however. It was all he could do just to get a piece of it. But RBG back on the attack. They get a bump out of the corner. Now it'll be Tool. Great centering pass. Back to Tool, and Mekdos read it the whole way. Can he stop Bambi as well? Well, Taroko can, and that's good enough.
Tool's been so quick to get out and try and break these midfield passes up. He's the guy that's making those quick cuts, aggressive plays for the ball, getting the demos right now. Unfortunately, nothing has come of it since game number 1.
Popped up off the challenge by Mekdos. Portlet now trying to find Tool. Does off the pass from the ceiling. Now Bambi. That's going to be high and wide. It's a double commit by Taroko and Corrupted G, but it hasn't cost them. They do recover, and if you're going to double commit, at least don't burn a lot of boost. Neither of them did, and it works out.
A lot of passes here coming out of RBG, but every single one of them just seems to be a light touch off it. They cannot get any power into the ball. The passes are fantastic. The follow-up, not so great. Taroko gonna do it again as he brings it down himself.
Taroko now with goal number 5 in the series, and I'm pretty sure only one of them has an assist attached to it. This is what he does. The Taroko show is in full swing.
That's a 0 assist so far on these. It is all Taroko here in game number, I'm about to say 3, 4. We are in game 4.
And it could be the 4th and final game of this series, because it doesn't look like RBG has an answer for Taroko. They also don't have a way to get through into the blue net. Still have time though, 1:10 and counting. Bambi's giving it away to Mekdos. Mekdos double, no, as Portlet jumps in the way. He's got a full tank of boost, but cannot take possession with him. That's a good ball downfield. Portlet was already halfway down there, but I think he missed the midfield boost, and that slowed him down immensely.
It's missed opportunities. The story is ringing true. The boost side, the speed of play, average speed of player is all in the favor of RBG. They're just not getting the power and the connections off of any of the passes. Currently on boost, they're dominating on taking boost. They've collected the boost on the opponent's end of the field almost as much as they have on their own.
Taroko will collect here. Sky one up across midfield, again threatening to score an unassisted hat trick. Doesn't work out this time, but he doesn't need it. 15 seconds remain. RBG needs to score right about now if they're gonna have a chance. And will they? No. Corrupted G slams shut the door. And Chaos Esports Club, they're gonna get a pair of overtime victories and a clean sheet in game 4. And that is all she wrote. It was a spirited effort from RBG Esports. They gave Chaos all they could ask for and then some, but then the one-man show of Taroko, as you can see on your screen. No assists, no shots for anybody other than Taroko, and it is 2-zip, 3-1.
You know, they thought they had tickets to the big show. They actually had tickets to the Taroko show.
Yes.
He's out there. They gave him way too much space, and he was able to just take it by 1, by 2, and then just jam it in the face of the number 3 and put those balls in the net. Great play from him. He definitely showed up big for the team today.
Yeah, he definitely did, and it was so fun to watch too as he took over that series. I mean, we've seen guys like Classics do that in their past in the RLCS, but when you see a player like Wonder Mike last week, like someone like Kieran earlier today with Solari, when you see somebody decide, hey, give me the ball and get out of my way, that's fun to watch.
For me, Taroko's plays it's not as crazy as Kieran's, out of the corner redirect or one of those shots, but his overall play was stellar. He was taking the ball around. If he had space, he was an absolute threat. He was dribbling around everyone, taking it to the sidewall around defenders. Everybody out there, other teams, do not, under any circumstances, give Taroko space. He will make you look foolish for it.
Well, that's going to do it for that match. Chaos Esports Club climbs a little bit higher up the standings, and they are chasing a couple of teams that are undefeated. Guess what? They're doing battle next. It is Omni Nation and Mirage. Don't go anywhere. This one's going to be a banger.
sometimes it's gonna hurt. If you're ever gonna get that bad, then you better plan your attack. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger than you show it.
Mirage and Omni Nation going to take the pitch in just a moment. We are halfway. Well, we're getting halfway through. Match number 2 in North America. Welcome to the Rival Series. Alongside me is going to be Supersonic and, of course, Stacks as we get into it. But first, rewind. Let's take a look at game number 1 or match number 1. So this one was kind of interesting. What do you think?
Well, I think that it was nice to see RBG get off to a strong start. They had a lightning hot start against Chaos, but again, just those overtimes, and especially the way the second overtime ended with the ball ricocheting around and Taroko scoring. I mean, it just felt like momentum went fully on the side of Chaos. The wind completely left the sails of RBG, and they came out flat in Game 4.
100%. As soon as that goal went in for Corrupted G at the end of overtime, it was over. It really felt like things stayed the way of or stayed against RBG from that point. Chaos had control of it, which was really weird. One of the things I was watching at is the little tracker here, and I'm keeping track of all of the data for the speed of the players and boost collection. The entire thing is orange. They had probably 75% of all the boosts picked up in that match, yet they couldn't get anything done. So I think that storyline of missed opportunities ended up really being the issue.
Hey, so does that kill the adage boost over ball? Can we finally put that to rest
That match,
once and for all?
At whatever minute marker I started talking about it in that match, it by this data here, they should have been bled dry. They shouldn't have even been able to drive, period, at all. Their car should have broken down and not functioned with the amount of boost that they were lacking. Their own boost was getting grabbed by the opponent more than by themselves.
Well, that was last match. Ultimately, the expected outcome, Chaos does take the victory. I think we'll be looking at RBG in the future to see how they adjust and how they kind of fix things because they're now 0-2. Moving on to our match number 2, though, we've got Mirage taking on Omni Nation. Luke, Freshness, and J-Russ will go head-to-head versus Jordan, Percy, and Magic Bear. So Omni Nation is 2-0, and Magic Bear has been here for one of those matches. Mirage also 2-0, and they're number 2 only because they are one game above Omni. So this might be the closest matchup we've had in all 3 weeks so far.
On the stat side of it, I think it is the closest because if we look at the teams where their wins came from as well, they each have 2 wins, but they're only against teams that are all in the bottom 3 in the power ranking right now. So it's one of those questionable ones. This is, I think, what decides that. We're talking about they're off by 1 match is the separation between them. This is where we get to finally decide which one of you two is the better team.
And this is where we go with the adage that, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, you can get off to a fast start, but you do still have to, it doesn't matter how you start the season, you do have to play everybody, and you are going to run up against the likes of Charlotte Phoenix. You're eventually going to run into Stromboli. You're eventually going to run into these teams up at the top that they're not going to roll over for you like, say, 72 PC has so far.
And that storyline for Mirage is about to look that way. In the coming weeks, they're running into Charlotte Phoenix, Stromboli, into Chaos, into Absolute Leverage. That is a
hard pass.
That is a rough schedule. This is going to be the weeks. This is the endurance test. Can you guys stay in it for that long?
So I'm going to move into predictions here, but I'm going to give you a direction. I want to hear your prediction, and I want to hear you give me a reason based on the players on the team. So who's going to take this one, and who's going to be the guy?
I'm going with Mirage. I believe that Luke is going to have a pretty solid game. I've seen him have a couple opportunities where he's made some really good reads. He's had some good shots where he's flicked a couple shots in, getting it past 2 defenders. He can make things happen when he needs to for the team.
Sure.
And I think Luke's going to be that guy today for Mirage.
For me, it's Joe Freshness. I got Mirage as well. I think Joe Freshness, first of all, big shout out to the E-Regs out there. I know that you got his back. But also, I've seen Joe play at LANs a few times now up in Canada, and he just seems to constantly improve. He's got that drive that, as soon as he was able to play in the Rival Series, he made it. And he's been back every single time since. He's had 6 different teammates along the way, but I like that he's that kind of competitor that, hey, there's one constant. He's always there.
And I'm a little mad at Stacks because he took my answer. Mirage is my go-to, and it's because of Joe Freshness as well. I like the fact that he's played. LAN experience means a lot to me. I think LAN experience is a big deal. It does translate to online, and that's why I go there. But also across the way, Omni Nation, as I said, 2 wins, but with 2 separate rosters. Magic Bear coming in, trying to solidify himself. I just look at the fact that Mirage has had these 2 guys in the same situation, or these 2 wins with the same situation. So I like that look for sure. Mirage, Omni Nation, one of our closest matchups yet. I'm going to let you guys take the action right about now.
2-0 versus 2-0. Something's going to give, and no matter what, Stromboli's just going to be watching this match going, yeah, well, that's one less that we got to worry about because they're well on their way towards 9-0 if they can continue on. So everybody else in the league watching this wondering, all right, who's going to come down a little bit? Who is going to be in danger of falling down towards us for that number 3 spot?
And this is one of those things where we're talking about how good these teams are playing and what they've been doing right. But again, it is against the bottom 3 teams. So you take a loss here. Now, are you still middle of the pack or upper? Or are you now battling to keep yourself in the middle of the pack and just maintain until next season?
And every game, oh so significant, as we have seen tiebreakers make all the difference over the past several seasons of the Rival Series. You can't afford to make even one mistake and let one game slip away. Freshness almost scores, and then J-Russ bangs the same side of the post. They don't convert there, and that's one that Mirage, if they don't come away with a goal here, even after the demo on Percy, they're going to be kicking themselves, and they, in fact, do not. Intercepted by Percy at midfield. They haven't broken the zone, though. Omni Nation still forced to play a lot of defense. That shot just barely off the mark by J-Russ, and it really feels like the post and the area just outside the post are doing a lot more defensive work than Omni Nation is right now.
Oh, yeah, no. Player 4, 5, and 6 are putting in work right now, and it's definitely going the way of Mirage thus far. These saves that have been made so far by Omni have been absolute scrambles for the ball. They've been very close to going in.
So still somehow no goal for Mirage, despite all the effort that they've put in the first minute and a half. Now we'll see if Omni Nation can get anything going with their trip into the offensive zone. It'll be Freshness lobbing one up for Luke. That is intercepted. They took far too long to get started, and Magic Bear comes in with a clubbing blow.
He brings the magic as he takes that one off the back wall to himself, right around J-Russ, and gets it in just under the bar.
Well, that is great stuff from Magic Bear, and it's exactly what Omni Nation needed. An intercept at midfield. It leads to 1 goal and a chance at another off the kickoff, though that'll be easily set away by Freshness. And now back the other way. This is going to be Magic Bear again. This time he has the ball taken away from him. Don't make the same mistake twice. But J-Russ gets knocked into the air. I think it was Magic Bear that got a piece of him, and Percy will walk it home.
And there is absolutely nobody there. Yeet. Defender out the way. Walks it in for Percy. That's got to be the easiest goal of his life.
That's just one of my favorite things to see, too. As soon as you start to jump, and just before you jump, you get nudged a little bit, and you just see the boost trail go flying away.
You just get thrown to Narnia.
It's like watching a cartoon character in a rocket pack that malfunctions. They just start flying all over the place.
Wile E. Coyote, his rocket just went haywire on him.
Now Jordan just trying to stand his ground short of midfield. Omni Nation has jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Mirage doesn't seem to have an answer. J-Russ, big clear downfield. He's got Freshness down there, but Freshness does not have a line on the ball. Only one defender to beat. It's Luke, and he does at least stop Magic Bear from scoring his second goal. Now Jordan just barely missing. Follow-up from Percy. He has his second.
And the defensive scrambles has switched sides as this is getting out of hand right now for Mirage. Omni now up 3-0, and they are now scrambling themselves on that goal line, just trying to get a piece of the ball. It felt like early in the match, that was definitely Omni that was in that situation, and I think that the itch to try and get a goal got to Mirage, and they started playing aggressive, and another one almost goes in here.
Well, better to be lucky than good, and Mirage is lucky that they did not give up a fourth goal. Another lopsided game one. It looked like it was going to be all Mirage if the first minute was any indication. But you play 5 of them, and the other 3 so far, the other 2 so far, have been dominated by Omni.
Here's the question though, you dominate round 1, can you keep it going? Because the story so far today has not been true that that's the case. Many times the guy that's taking down this first game is dominant, and game 2, the other team figures them out. They're gonna need to stay consistent.
Well, there's one there on the board from Mirage, and not a moment too soon, as finally J-Russ catches this feed from Freshness. That's a brilliant ball, and perfectly placed. So J-Russ gets Mirage on the board on their 6th shot here in game 1. Will their 7th get them one closer? No, that's going to be set away. It was off the hood of Luke. Luke circling back, and now he's going to be called on defensively. So too is Russ, and he does make the stop. Now J-Russ and Freshness trying to, well, it was either a double commit or you could give them the benefit of the doubt that they're trying to pinch that downfield. Regardless, result unsuccessful. And back the other way comes Omni Nation, just trying to stall out even at midfield and make it that much tougher for Mirage to get back into this game.
Pretty dangerous on that stall out. They had all three players committed to mid. Had anybody gotten a touch on that ball and it got around them, there was nobody there for defense.
45 seconds and counting. Another ball cleared all the way down to the Mirage end. Freshness by 1. He's actually around a second as well, but that ball just rockets out all the way to the opposite corner. And after all that work, it's all for naught. Another floater dished off to the corner by Percy. Freshness taken out of the play. And if it wasn't difficult enough, they had to start this counterattack with 2. And I don't know what that was, but whatever it was effective as the ball stays on the side of Omni Nation, and that will do it. 3-1 in game 1. And Omni Nation looked really good in the middle of that game, and that's where they made their bread and butter.
Yeah, middle of the game was all Omni Nation. Started off a little shaky, saw them scramble to save a few goals. Couple shots coming off of defender 4, 5, and 6 on the post and the crossbar. But Omni really kind of found their pace and their stride there throughout the middle of the game. Mirage, though, towards the end, started cleaning up a lot. They got a goal. They started slowing things down. They didn't let any other balls get past them. Might be indicative of what we start to see as we go into game number 2.
You mentioned it a moment ago, defenders 4, 5, and 6. If you haven't picked up by now, we're talking about the post and the crossbar. And early on in that game, Omni Nation, they weren't playing a whole lot of defense. They were stuck in their defensive zone, but they weren't playing a lot of defense. It was Mirage that was taking shot after shot well wide off to the right. Any Buffalo Bills fans were probably getting PTSD at that point. And after Omni weathered the storm, they came down and took over. Those missed opportunities by Mirage, boy, they've got to be kicking themselves after all that.
So Omni only actually had one more shot from the point that they were up 3 once that shifted over. The number of shots actually went way in favor of Mirage. They did get outshot, so interesting stat from last week, most shots per game going the way of Mirage. They were shooting about 10 or 11 shots a game. This time it's actually going the side of Omni, but it felt like it was starting to go the way of Mirage in terms of the number of shots. I'll be interested to see if this defense or this offense can get going on the Mirage side.
Well, if you shoot
Yes,
enough, you will eventually score, and it did not take long. J-Russ, 11 seconds in, just what the doctor ordered.
J-Russ with 2 shots in the opening 14 seconds, 1 off the backboard and 1 in the net.
And so that's the challenge now for Omni Nation. They got away with that in game 1. They did not get away with it to start game 2, but can they answer just as they did all of that pressure in game 1? They certainly can, though Percy not up fast enough. So this will be brought right back into the zone. Omni Nation now on the attack, looking for an early equalizer. And that's well read as ball dunked back in by Magic Bear. Freshness didn't get all of this ball, so he couldn't clear. Percy goes around the defense, but Luke was still there. A very clever play to work around the defense, indirectly passing to himself, but still denied at the end.
Couple cheeky touches coming out of both Percy and Magic Bear. Nothing to come from them, but you could see it shake the defense, and the defense scrambling to try and get to where they needed to be. You do that enough, eventually you'll sneak through.
Percy backflips. It's an opportunity now with numbers for Mirage. That lone number at the back has been wiped out, but nobody took the ball, so Percy will take over. No boost, no problem, but that's saved away by Luke. Now Magic Bear, he was looking for Percy, but Percy didn't commit to the play. Back it goes, and that's easily guided to the side by Percy. Now Luke trying to pick his spot, but all he finds is Percy.
Nice second effort there from Percy, unfortunately not able to make contact, but I am a man that likes watching the effort.
So far, how would you grade the effort of Omni Nation as they try to get back into this game? That shot just barely missing, almost doubling the lead for Mirage.
The effort, fantastic. We'll give it an A. The execution, a little less so. Somewhere around a C. They're not, unfortunately, they're getting some of these nice touches. They're just not able to actually convert them into any tangible stat.
Well, we are in the middle of the game where Omni dominated and grew their lead to an insurmountable number in game 1. Can they do it again here in game 2? Get back into this. Answer the very early goal scored by J-Russ and Mirage. All the way across to Magic Bear, and his weak side shot is set away by Freshness and Luke. Still kept in the zone, but swept away by J-Russ as he cleans up the mess. Now a drive, saved by Magic Bear, but it goes right to Luke. And this is a great attack by Mirage. They're covering left, right, and middle. There is nowhere for Omni Nation to clear this ball away. They keep trying and failing. Now finally they do, and Jordan got just enough on this.
I love what Percy's doing right now. He is so quick. He's getting a ton of touches. I'd love to see the stat for the number of ball touches that he ends up getting this match. He's winning a lot of these. He's not able to turn them in until right now. It seems like every time I want to talk about them not converting, somebody wants to score the second I speak up. Percy finally gets one in there. He's been beating people, challenges. He's winning his 50s. He's getting to the ball. He's making cheeky touches around the corners, which is opening up the defense. Finally, they convert one. They need to keep that up.
So not much has changed from game 1 to game 2. The early stages dominated by Mirage. Omni Nation answers back with a tally of their own. Near the middle stages, the later mid, but still the middle of the game. We're coming up on the final minute where Mirage seemed to get back into the game. They seem to get the attack rolling in game 1. See if that holds true. Right now, it is all Omni Nation. Lateral pass out, nobody home. So Percy, all he can do is dump it back to midfield, and a little indecisiveness from Percy could be costly. He's still running around. I don't think he knows where to go necessarily. Finally, just pops one out to midfield. He needs a lot of boost though, and he doesn't. Now he does. And that is stopped by Percy, who he has been incredibly important in this series so far, but especially this game. So that one saved off the goal line. Another save made by Jordan. Omni Nation, they're hanging on by a thread. This game's still tied up, but not for long. No, the shot from J-Russ whistles wide. Freshness now for Luke, and Jordan got up to interfere with the shot.
Yeah, Percy's definitely that man that's making it happen on the Omni side right now. Again, another challenge as he goes up against J-Russ. He's going to win that one, give it out to Magic Bear. Percy again, right there in the way of Luke, breaks one up, and they're going to get this ball back down into the blue half.
Sometimes you call it ball cam, sometimes director cam. Hey, you could call it Percy cam. He is in just about every shot. Not at the moment. Now he is, but ball's going to go by him. And it looks like we're headed to overtime. Not a lot of circumstance here in the closing minute or so, except for one close call by Mirage.
And Percy there, as we were saying, involved in just about everything. And that was one of the first missed opportunities for a challenge that I've seen out of him so far in game 2.
J. Russ up the ladder to send this to the wall for himself. Needs to get the ball down in front, but freshness taken out of the play. Now right down the middle and almost dunked on by Percy. He got a piece of that ball. Can he center? No, he's going to turn tail and run away. Now Magic Bear. Easily sent off to the corner. This will be right back in though. Percy, he's got his handprints all over everything that Omni Nation has done, but Magic Bear could not react to the miss. Still made himself useful as he puts a big ol' hand up and says, stop right there.
He's the man making it happen. Magic Bear comes in, gets that bump on J. Russ, opens it up. Easy shot for Jordan, and they are going to take down match number 2.
And they now take a 2-0 lead in the series, more importantly, with an overtime winner in game 2. And now for Mirage, as good as they have looked for 2/5 of every game, it has been the other remaining 3/5 that Omni Nation has taken advantage of, and Magic Bear made himself incredibly important there at the end.
Absolutely, yeah, he came in big at the end. He's the one that let that play happen. Had he not been there, J. Russ easily saves that shot. It wasn't anything spectacular. Jordan saw him, though, knew that he just needed to put a ball on net. That's it. Trust him to take out J. Russ. Magic Bear showed up right when he needed to. Between him and Percy, Magic Bear on the defensive half, Percy is always there somehow in the middle of the field. He's just there all the time. And then the pressure between him and Jordan taking shots, they put up 8 shots between the two of them. Ended up working out. Take one down in OT.
Well, we mentioned at the very start of this game, take enough shots and eventually you'll score. And yes, Mirage has scored twice, but that's all they've gotten. They have not had an answer specifically for Percy because, again, he has been everywhere for Omni Nation. He has been omnipotent.
He has been challenging just about everything. It's similar almost to that of what Monkey Moon was doing for me. He's there in the mid. He's also still getting back and getting touches. He's not getting saves, but he's getting the backboard touches. He's getting the corner touches that he needs to get. He is just absolutely everywhere at the moment.
And what you like about Percy, more than you do a lot of other players that tend to take that role where they seem to be everywhere, he's not ball chasing. He is not to the detriment of Omni Nation, but rather to their benefit, a great benefit, that Percy is everywhere he needs to be as another ball is cleared all the way downfield and just demos left and right very early on in game 3, and you wonder if that's going to be a shift for maybe Mirage to try and play a little more physically because that's what beat them in that overtime.
Nice booming clear from Percy to get that ball out of there. One of the things that Percy's doing well is how quickly he's making those second challenges too. They're not ending up in double commit situations. He'll do a challenge straight into a second one, and they're not ending up out of rotation. And I think that's the most impressive part. The comms have to be super clean for that to occur that way. Jordan trying to chase this one back. J. Russ gonna beat him.
Well, there's only one player that has scored for Mirage. You're looking at him right there, J. Russ. As he beats the defense, caught him napping just outside the first minute. And again, Mirage looking good in the very early stages of every game, but they've got to carry it over to the middle and the end. Omni Nation has taken care of business in the middle of every game. It's almost inevitable they'll score, and they do. It is Magic Bear off the feed from who else but Percy.
Percy's got to have his hand in everything. There's nothing that Percy is not involved in. If you score a goal on the other side, Mirage, just know that it was at the mercy of Percy.
It did not take very long after Mirage scored for Omni to level the score. Jordan. That's going to drop down towards Percy, and perhaps he's human after all. He was not able to catch up to that ball. And now Percy trying to find Magic Bear, but that ball had a little more pace coming in. Still got it to him, and the shot barely saved by Freshness.
So a couple quick shot opportunities that have happened from Mirage. They're doing some of these quick passes to trying to take a shot. Unfortunately, they're doing it from their half or their third of the field, which is just an easy save for the most part unless the other team is committed. I'd like to see them take a bit more control over the ball and try and get in there and create some opportunities rather than just looking to boom them down the field.
I have a feeling if we look at some of the more advanced numbers after this series, Luke's gonna want us not to look at his. We've seen him around constantly, not a lot of touches, not a lot of boost to work with. I mean, he's been out there, but he has been struggling to find his place on the field.
I mean, I can tell you right now, highest on the field's Jordan at a 49.4. Luke is sitting at 16. He is definitely far behind in the number of touches. He's not being able to have really any presence in this match.
Well, Luke will try here. He's got a few touches trying to follow that play up. The ball got away from him, so J. Russ will take over. Luke trying to run interference. Instead, he'll back out and, well, does not opt for that midfield boost. Instead, Freshness ended up with it. Rainbow down, or Waterfall down, and still nothing doing for Mirage. As they remain on just the one goal. Again, the only player that scored for them is J. Russ, and there is the man of the hour there to make the save.
J-Russ has been the only man to score, and he's only done one goal in each round. So he's getting some stuff done, but not enough. We need Luke, we need Freshness to show up here and get some goals in, or at least get some passes, open up some opportunities, because right now it's looking rough.
You know, if you're a fan of soccer, or as some of the European, well, all of the Europeans put it, football, you're a huge fan of maybe this Omni Nation team, because you see every time they get possession, it's the first touch. They put so much emphasis on getting a good first touch. It throws the oncoming attackers for a loop. I mean, we've seen them just slip right by attackers who should be able to make a challenge but don't, as Luke creatively tries to get a shot off. But again, you see he's running around with absolutely no boost, and it's impossible to get back in a timely manner.
Finally, it's a little bit of boost, and he
Oh,
jumps
no,
out
this is
early.
dangerous.
Yeah, we talk about him not having boost. He finally gets some, feels the need to go, jumps for this challenge, gets there late. Jordan gets a great 50, opens it up. Percy able to get in there. Once again, getting his hands involved and all over everything.
His fourth goal to go with a pair of assists in this series, and that could be the one that spells the end for Mirage. Magic Bear. And you go back to how that goal was scored. Of course, it comes off a challenge out of the middle. Mirage would hate to lose on that kind of a goal. You'd at least like to maybe make the opposition earn it. Instead, Luke's got to get back. He's the only thing keeping Omni Nation from a 3-1 lead. Now, high off the corner, got around one. Magic Bear, no, cannot finish the job. And yet again, Mirage hangs on, but only barely with 25 seconds left. Only a sliver of hope to try and tie this game up. Bombed downfield. Freshness tracking this to the side. Down to 13 seconds. Percy now against Luke. And he can just watch this. Got in front of J-Russ. And that's got to be the book on these guys, right? Just stop J-Russ and you stop Mirage. They did finally. And that will just about do what it does. Omni Nation opens up NA week number 3 with a sweep.
Omni Nation showing up big here. Take down Mirage. We were talking about them beforehand, both being 2-0, both of them fighting teams that are lower in the league at the moment. Definitive statement from Omni Nation as they come in. They take that one 3-0 handedly. What does that say about Mirage, though, for their season?
Yeah, well, it says that, you know what, everybody has a bad day eventually, and they do not convert here. They finally drop down from the ranks of the unbeaten. And now, yes, as I see, you are pointing it out. Charlotte Phoenix, Stromboli, Chaos, Alev, just man. And
Maybe
then
a
if
possible week
and then
off
if Monkey Business gets things figured out along the way, if they're battling for a spot, all of a sudden that match becomes even more difficult. I mean, yeah,
And
Mirage.
if not, then you run into RBG, who we saw earlier.
Well, it's funny. Mirage at the start of the season, 2-0. Middle of the season, this might be where they struggle, and maybe they kind of figure it out at the end, just like every game in that series.
I hope they can figure it out towards the end, because these weeks coming up are gonna be rough. These are some matches with some teams that we have seen high-flying, high-powered offenses that can get back on D with a quickness, and they're going to be a really, really tough matchup. If they're falling behind, Luke got to get involved. We talked about it a little bit here. Luke, unfortunately, wasn't able to get his hands on enough of the game, and it really kind of felt like it was a 2.5 versus 3 man.
Yep.
They need to figure that out. How do you get Luke involved? How do you get him into that rotation? Because the presence just wasn't there.
Yeah, well, they're going to have some time to talk it over and think about it. But, as you mentioned, that they play the Charlotte Phoenix, that's going to be Sunday this weekend on the old B stream on March 1st. Yikes. Well, at least they get some time. And you get some time to wait before our next match. And it's going to be a good one. Subi and Spaceman will be back on the desk to break down that last match and take you through our third match of the day. Warriors
Wonder Mike.
International and Absolute Leverage.
It's Wonder Mike versus Warriors International.
Yes. Don't miss the Wonder Mike show. It's coming up next.
I don't wanna lose it all, loving you, no. I have done just gotta let it go. I don't wanna. I don't want to lose it all, I don't want to lose it all, loving you, no. I don't wanna lose it all, loving you, no. I have been just gotta let it go. I don't want to lose it all, no. See it all. I don't wanna lose it all, no.
Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start it.
Everything changed, I
solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses.
Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again.
Tomorrow we build. Depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will go, give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go. Tomorrow we build. Depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will go, give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go.
Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. We get started again.
What's good and welcome back, Rocket League. Tom Badger here hosting your rival series, North American style. Joining me this time around is a couple of different people. We've got none other than Subi and, of course, Spaceman. Spaceman, you're generally an excited guy.
Yeah.
How excited are you right now?
Very, very. Nothing is toned down. We had a break. I did nothing but sit here and just go like this. Like, I'm really hyped. Really hyped. Drink a lot of water. Feeling good.
This is glass. You got to be careful, bro. You don't want to crack it.
Well, that's kind of how our show's going. Coming up next, though, we've got two fantastic teams. Warriors International versus Absolute Leverage. The earlier half was interesting as well. Chaos took the field versus RBG. And Mirage went versus Omni Nation. And that one was interesting. Omni comes out with the win, so we like to see that one. As I said, Warriors and Absolute Leverage will be up next. And then later on, next match, that's the big one. Charlotte Phoenix take on the undefeated Stromboli. I know Omni Nation is also undefeated, but straight up, Stromboli look better. They are clearly the number one.
I just would never have accepted this if you told me these two teams are going to be at 1-2, both undefeated going into week 3. I guess ending week 3 for Omni Nation.
Sure.
But I would never have taken that with Chaos not up there, 72 pin connector down at the bottom, and Charlotte Phoenix not up there as well. It just doesn't make sense to me, but week 1, I told you guys, expect the unexpected, and the teams have done exactly that.
Yeah, and again, we talked about the storyline of Omni Nation and the whole sub thing, but they're sitting 3-0. And that, what better start could you want from that? They've clearly proven that this is the right roster going forward. And again, that causes a celebration on their side, right? They're like, hey, our sub fills in great and our starting roster is great. Like, this is all good. So I think North America has been less unpredictable than Europe, but there's still a lot of good storylines here that we can always dive into, and I think it's going to lead to better things down the line.
Well, and both teams that have used subs this season are undefeated.
Yeah.
And they say they have, like, these 4-man rosters that they're comfortable with.
That's the magic key.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Life is good. Let's take a look at the two teams coming up here for match number 3. It's Warriors International. That's Buddy. That's Thunder. That's Jay Wismont. And Absolute Leverage. Rodoko, Kinsey, and Wanda Mike. That last player. Eyes all aboard. If you haven't heard of Wanda Mike, you are going to hear about Wanda Mike. One of the bigger players in the bubble area. Just honestly, a fan favorite before he even hit the rival series field.
He doesn't even need his teammates to create offense for himself. He's just a player that can do magical things with the ball. And this team, Absolute Leverage, is all offense. That's all they're about. They allow a lot of shots against them, but that's okay because they just keep pouring on the offense with Wanda Mike. It goes directly through him, and it usually finishes with him.
I'm going to be host real quick. Hey, How you doing over there, Tom? Why don't you tell the people about last week how you were excited about Wonder Mike and everything, and everyone said you were crazy. There's no way, Tom. What are you talking about? Wonder Mike? No. What happened? What exactly did we see?
Well, no wonder there wasn't a blunder. Wonder Mike just came through and put it in. We love to see that. And alongside him, I think, Kinsey and Rodoko. Rodoko was the guy that I was watching the earlier part, right? That was really interesting, and Wonder Mike has kind of gotten his feet underneath him. Don't forget, he's a younger player. He's just now hit the age requirement for the rival series, which is why maybe it took him so long, quote unquote, to kind of get here.
Makes sense.
And it's an interesting look here. So, I mean, that's the thing is if it was Wonder Mike and the two nobodies, I might have been a little bit more trepidatious about doubling down. But the fact that his teammates are able to still bring the noise alongside this guy, I am here for it. So with all that said, Subi, who you got?
It's going to be a dangerous one because Rodoko has been pretty quiet this entire season. He's only had one goal. Yeah, they've only played 2 games, or 2 series rather. But you want to see more offense from players. And if Rodoko shows up from, Rival Series Season 7, when we used to see him on Upper 90, he was pretty darn good for that team.
Upper 90 was a great team.
If we see that player show up today, there's no way that they're dropping this match. So I have absolute leverage just because Wonder Mike is on that team.
Yeah, I've been wrong twice today, but I still have faith in my noodle, so I'm going to continue. I'm going absolute leverage. Wonder Mike, the dude does it all. Last week, he basically carried them to the win. I got to think that if he's that X factor and the rest of the team is there providing support, all the 3 of them can click at any moment, and when they do, it's going to be hard for Warriors International to overcome. They lost Omni Nation last week, and they lost to Mirage 3-0. Again, 3-0, 3-1 Ls. Hard to bounce back from that against a very dynamic powerhouse team. And what I said earlier was you have to neutralize star players. If they can't neutralize Wonder Mike, is it great for absolute leverage? No, but you have 2 other players around him that can get him going. It's going to be difficult.
Warriors International, you mentioned their 2 losses. 2 losses against the 2 strongest teams in the league. So how much can you really hold against them? They've only got 1 win, though. And at the end of the day, well, I'm Team Wonder Mike as well. All the way, absolute leverage. This kid, if we can't already call him a superstar, he will be a superstar. Whether it's here or whether it's up in the championship series, mark my words, put it down. You can put a dot on that one. He is going to take it home. I think the team's going to take it home here. We all agree, absolute leverage. So let's play the flip card before we jump in real quick. How does Warriors International change us and get the win?
They limit the amount of shots. Right now, they're number 1 for allowing shots against. That differential has got to be closed up. I think it's 10 shots a game that they're allowing. That's no way to win Rocket League games. So D up.
Yeah, in games that are close, you can't afford more than 5 or 6 shots. So neutralize Wonder Mike, neutralize the midfield pressure that they put on. Try to slow the game down, play your game. That's what's gotten you here, but you got to play a little bit better.
Well, they've got to play the game, and you've got to call the game. Subi Smash, Spaceman, and, of course, Strangest Stranger on the observation. Enjoy the game. I'll be back.
It's been great to see North America and Europe collide in the fact that we have not only rookies or individual talents that are stepping up, and we're seeing maybe 1 or 2 players per team that now have scouting reports and a possibility to move on. But we're also seeing a North American squad in absolute leverage where, again, you have just so much potential, right? You have Wonder Mike, who is another star-studded player. He stands out. 1 or 2 players from each roster, maybe you're looking at future RLCS spots, but we're seeing those players come into their form now. Their personalities are showing on the field, and now we can really start to pick them apart and see how much can they carry throughout the season, and I think that's going to lead to some interesting storylines down the line.
So I've got a really bold prediction here for Game 1.
Uh-oh.
You ready for it?
Nope.
I think there's going to be, I'm going to say 8 goals in Game 1.
Oh, my God. Well, we've seen, what, 7, 8 today in, like, a minute, so it's entirely possible.
Watch it end 0-0 overtime.
We're going draw, baby. Let's get it. Off the start, it's absolute leverage. Warriors International. Welcome to series number 1 of North America. Let's get into it. Buddy into the corner. That's going to be picked up by Wonder Mike. It's going to be carried to the other side and followed up by Jay Wismont. We haven't talked a whole lot about him. He was a guy we really looked at in weeks 1 and 2, the same way we were talking about Wonder Mike, but it's been relatively quiet. This team looking to at least bounce back in the league. Again, absolute leverage. Won last week against Charlotte Phoenix in Game 5.
And there were 3 overtimes in that series, so they really went the distance with Charlotte Phoenix, and they showed that they can hang around with one of the best and take down one of the best in the league.
Push it to the limit and you come out with a W. That's an ego boost. And that ball is going to be sent into the corner. It's going to be Thunder who will be there. He's going to carry it now. That's a demo from Wondamike. Kinsey now rotating back in mid. He's in transition to catch that ball and stop it, but oh, he might have sent it perfectly. Oh no! Off the side of the bar. And that coach said, hey, I'll play a 4th man defense if I have to.
Oh boy, you hate to see it. Another opportunity, he probably rings that one in. Good demo there from Rodoko to give a little space in the defensive end, but you see the double commit come out. It's gotta be hard playing with Wondamike. With how fast he is, you gotta just have Super Saiyan's abilities, knowing when he's gonna go and when he's not.
And that opportunity was really just nerves from Absolute Leverage. It was an awkward center that led to nothing. You won't miss many of those. Wondamike now centers it for a teammate. Rodoko didn't get the redirect. That's okay. He goes back to the other corner and Buddy cuts it off. Kinsey following in pursuit, and Jay Wismont will find the bottom of the net, and they're going to take goal number 1 to start the series. It is Warriors International making Absolute Leverage come out and start on the back foot.
And Buddy gets his 5th assist on the season. Jay Wismont with a beautiful goal there off that pass. And right off the kickoff, Wondamike is up. Wondamike can't get the double tap. And this is a dangerous pinch off to the side wall. But Rodoko keeps that in control and keeps the ball in favor of Absolute Leverage for the time being.
I like how we talked about Wondamike's ability to just be so quick. And off the start, he wins the face-off and puts a shot down. And now you're looking at Absolute Leverage recovering on defense. It's going to be Rodoko who slows it down, but Thunder will immediately send it the other way. Kinsey and Wondamike working the side of the boards. They're going to push this one forward. They weren't able to extend it, but here comes Jay Wismont off the top. Oh, it's centered for a teammate. It should be a goal now. Kinsey stops it at goal line, and the ball still up precariously. Another save from Wondamike. Absolute Leverage being pushed to the limit.
Great defense there from Wondamike, and there it is, the one skills on display, but this isn't 1v1. There's some more players on the field. He gets that ball swatted off the top of his car. This one gets away from him as well. A pass towards the box. Jay Wismont sends it home and gets the 2nd one in game 1.
Jay Wismont showing up early. That's a pass from Thunder off the top and a redirect under the defender. You know, make you look silly. 156 and off the start, Warriors International just putting so much pressure on Absolute Leverage.
Oh, baby.
That ball's going to go into the corner. It's going to be followed up by Rodoko, who does win the challenge. Now up to the ceiling, but underneath it is Kinsey. He misses it off the top post. Another mishit from Absolute Leverage. Now could cost him in transitional offense. Buddy carrying by himself. Jay Wismont is there. He stops it, but it doesn't matter. Wondamike will carry this pass midfield. Buddy intercepts. Now Thunder follows through with the pass. Buddy now pushes it down for Jay Wismont, who gets a hit. But it's still stalled for now, trying to work it into the corner, but it's cleared away and back to the side of the board.
I'm liking the pressure we're seeing so far from Warriors International. They're not giving Wondamike any space to work with. Look at that, Thunder with the early challenge, gets that bar to ring under the crossbar and gets his 2nd of the season.
All 3 of their goals have come from that top post, and they've snuck it through. They're not showing you many looks. I mean, they're just giving you aerial hits down. And Absolute Leverage has yet to find a way to respond. But with a minute left, surely anything is possible. Surely, Subi. We can see it.
Don't call me Shirley.
Surely, Travis. 53 seconds. Not going to happen today. As Kinsey now falls back. He's going to wait. Oh, tried to predict it, but it's flipped over. And it will be Rodoko there with the save. Now back in front of the net. It's midfield we go. Wondamike goes up for a challenge. Buddy wins it. Jay Wismont flicks it up. But it should be easily taken off the back wall as Rodoko will move it back to midfield. Now a clearing shot down. It was immediately taken out. Thunder with a good save. Here comes a follow-up from Rodoko. And Buddy will slow it down in the corner, but again, Kinsey trying to stifle this one out. And Wonder Mike falling back, does have boost, but he expected a push to come through from Warriors International. Unfortunately, with 10 seconds, you can't read that too deep. You have to start finding a play.
Yeah, this one getting away from Absolute Leverage. It was all Warriors International up and down the field. Just felt like Absolute Leverage had lead in their wheels and couldn't get up off the ground. They were continually getting beat to balls in mid-air. Just impressive speed on the pitch from Warriors International.
That was a really quick game one. And I don't mean the fact that it was over in 5 minutes, but the fact that it was just Warriors International kind of showed up and played practice. They had 3 shots and 3 goals that went through the top of the post. They showed you exactly what pitch they were throwing. And when that fastball's coming right down the middle and you can't hit it, again, that's something you have to work on. But Warriors International, I mean, they didn't spread the field. They really didn't get it crazy with their plays. It was just control aerials, win challenges, and get some shots down. And they made it work.
Well, and they missed, what, 2 infield passing play shots? I mean, they just went off the side post. So had they have hit those, this would have been completely different. It would have been a blowout.
And
I mean, it already was a blowout.
It was a wide open net at that point, too. So we're like, okay, odds are you're not going to lose that most of the time. So when you're hitting the easy aerials and they're falling for goals, recipe's working. Keep that up. Until you have to change it, it's not broken. Moving into game 2, Absolute Leverage have to find a way to just respond.
They need to up their speed.
Yeah, they looked so slow. Wonder Mike had a good challenge off the face-off, but since then, nothing. It was quiet.
Yeah, it was just hesitancy all over the field, and you cannot have that in the back of your mind. You just have to be confident when you're going up for a ball. If you see that above you, you call it out to your teammates, I'm up, and that's it. There's no second-guessing yourself, and it just felt like in this matchup, they didn't know who was going. They didn't know if they should go, should stay down. Game 2, you got to put everything in the past because this matchup, ever so important.
Oh, and here comes a shot right off the start. Rodoko couldn't connect, and the series could really run away from them in game 2. I mean, you're talking about a swing game that easily leads to a 3-0. So let's see if they can flip the momentum, flip the script, and rewrite this series off the start. But it's Thunder with a carry. Centers it out for teammate, and Buddy scorches it to the left post.
Check the accuracy on this shot. Look at all 3 defenders, and he puts it perfectly in that left-hand corner. No one there. Love to see him hitting those shots.
That's easy plays. Warriors International did the same exact thing in game 1. It's like ringing the dinner bell. Ding, goal 1. Ding, goal 2. It's been so simple. Great passing plays, execute. That's it. Ball now moving its way forward. There's a second one. Goal 2. Hello, buddy. 2-0 for Warriors International.
If you're going to just give them goals like this, it's going to be a short series. 1-Mike. Yeah. Challenges that slow. You see 2 other defenders on the left-hand, right-hand side. No one in net.
There's not a whole lot we can really break down about some of these goals, but it honestly just seems like, Absolute Leverage is flat. They're just come out flat. They're not creating horrible mismatches. They've missed a couple of hits, but they're just giving up goals. It's kind of hard to break that down when all is not responding, but all of a sudden, Kinsey finds the redirect to the back of the net.
A nasty redirect. He's looking for a bump and then just gets under the ball, puts a little elevation on it. It goes right below the crossbar. Absolute Leverage cut the lead down to 1.
That was 5 unanswered goals. And it looks like finally, I'm checking my watch, yeah, Absolute Leverage woke up a bit. As that ball's gonna go into the corner, now met at midfield. Kinsey will slow it down, but Jay Wismont did get the interception, and now it's up for Rodoko and team to make something happen in their own half. I believe Thunder knocked it up. We'll see who's going to follow suit. It is Jay Wismont. Back into the corner we go. Still in front of their net, and that redirect sends it to the adjacent side. And Mike's going to go ahead and try to clear it out. That's a redirect off the top of the wall. Here comes a follow-up. Rodoko got a very precarious hit. Did absolutely nothing, and now they might be punished in transition.
That was a great push downfield on the offensive end from Absolute Leverage. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get that double tap in check, and Thunder with a good challenge in the corner gets the boost steal, but the demo comes out from Kinsey, giving Absolute Leverage plenty of space to push that ball towards midfield. But once again, Warriors International continue to batter the orange half.
And they've controlled midfield for now. So that's going to go right over Thunder, and it's going to be challenged and one on the wall by Buddy. Wonder Mike recovers at midfield now, trying to extend the play, but it's still up for Warriors International to grab. They've done it, and they've sent it back to midfield. Not only that, but they're stealing the boost as well. They've controlled the pace. 2:45, game 2. Still a 1-goal game. And again, we see another clear. Here comes a commit, and that's wide to the right, off the side of the goal. And it seems like a bunch of these hits have just kind of been, let's see what sticks, but their accuracy has been atrocious.
But at least it feels like Absolute Leverage is starting to wake up. The engines are starting to rev a little bit. They're not feeling as flat-footed. They're not feeling as chaotic as far as positioning is concerned. And just when I say that, a double commit comes out.
They look sluggish, just a little too much. We don't expect this from this team. That's Buddy with his individual self. Trying to carry, but no sir.
Oh.
And that's dangerous. Wonder Mike with the save. And then we're talking about a team in Absolute Leverage where Wonder Mike carried a whole series, brought it to a game 5 and single-handedly won it for them. And he's been silenced in the first 8 minutes of this series.
Hey, when you have a superstar player on the opposition, the #1 priority is getting him in check and shaking it up and just throwing him off his rhythm. Right now, Wonder Mike can't figure out how to break through this Warriors International defense, and it's just consistent pressure coming out from the Warriors, not allowing Wonder Mike any space.
Wonder Mike is the IGL, the entire offense feeds through him. So when he's shut down, you basically go to backup generators and hope to God something works. It's gonna go off the back wall. Here comes a second attempt. Buddy is not able to make it work. No goal this time. A minute now left in the game. And they're gonna slow it down in the corner. Buddy coming over mid. He did get bumped, but he gets enough of a touch to at least hopefully stop. That's an open net, but Thunder is there, and that demo from Buddy will stop the offensive assault from Absolute Leverage. It's taken away on the challenge at the top of the wall. Thunder now carry. He sets it up for a teammate. Buddy has to fall back in transition, but Jay Wisma comes in the crossing pattern. It's knocked away easily. And again, Absolute Leverage have been shut down on the cross.
Still about 3 more opportunities left for Absolute Leverage. This is going to be one of them, and good cutoff there from Jay Wismont. 30 seconds to go. Absolute Leverage need to get to work. They need to get this ball out of their half, but they just can't. Warriors International just strangling them on the offensive end, and the shot coming in from Jay Wismont gets the pre-flip and increases the lead to 2.
Well, game 2 will be going to Warriors International as they have completely kryptonited their Superman of Absolute Leverage. I mean, Clark Kent is down for the count, and he's Wonder Mike, by the way, in case you guys can get that analogy, but that's Clark Kent.
And he is looking for his glasses.
He's a farm boy. He's now stuck in Kansas.
I don't know.
No license in a wheat field. Warriors International have just put a block of kryptonite on the table today. Come take it.
I feel like we're going way too deep now.
We're not.
I don't even know if he lived in Kansas.
How dare you not know that?
Wonder
Mike does live in Kansas. Who knows?
Maybe he does. But one thing I do know, Warriors International looking hot. Go up 2-0 in this series, and if there is any life for Absolute Leverage left, they need to pull off the reverse sweep.
4 or 5 shots, 1 goal, 1 assist. You had 1 assist for Absolute Leverage, 1 goal. I mean, it's really difficult as whether you're commentating, analyzing, whatever it is, as a viewer, trying to break down this game when Absolute Leverage is not showing you anything promising. There's literally nothing standing out that's wrong. It's just they gave up quick goals and they had no life. Whereas International have found ways to break open their defense. They just kill time. I mean,
they're just hanging on to midfield. They're not allowing any offense.
Even when Absolute Leverage find a way past and they start double committing, a couple of them were miscues and bad communication, but their shots were wildly off base. I mean, so far to the right of the post, like centered balls off the top bar that they should be able to knock in. The accuracy wasn't there. It's like they're missing the shots they're getting, and you need to hit those because even if it doesn't connect, if you're close to the net, it allows follow-ups. There was nothing there.
Well, and going for these fast break opportunities and like super fast double taps off the back wall, very low percentage shots. And then when they are trying to set up an offense, they're trying to work them through the corners. And I hate when teams just rely on that. You've got to mix it up. You got to have different tricks in your bag. And let's see if they pull them out right now, because it's do or die time for Absolute Leverage.
It's going to be a very, 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 very hot 3-0. It's going to be another demo as Buddy sends him back to the loading screen. We'll see in the 2 seconds. Now Rodoko following in pursuit. Thunder will grab it off the side of the wall, and he's going to push this one into Absolute Ledge's territory. It's taken out of the box, set up for Kinsey to move it out. Again, good defense so far for Absolute Leverage, but this assault from Warriors International, aggressive off the start to say the least. I mean, look at their positioning on the field. They don't move past midfield unless they're grabbing boosts, then they're immediately back challenging.
And they're only pushing one back for that boost pad. Good save there from Mike. They're only going all the way back if someone's at midfield that can rotate in and keep the pressure up. Look, Thunder's going in. Jay Wisman just got that mid boost, and he's pressuring as well. Mike does get a good challenge here, but it's not going to resort to offense. A turnover right there is, though.
2 challenges, 1 back on boost. It's like a lazy Susan every time. They always have numbers at midfield. That's going to be dangerous at some point. And that point is a 2-0 lead. The ball's now up. Rodoko trying to make a chance, but again, intercepted, taken away by Warriors International. Now carried. What in the world was Kinsey doing? I don't know. They're missing these hits on the wall. I don't know if they're trying to slow it down or just play turtled back defense, but
Tactical whiffs.
yeah, I did not see that sooner. Here comes the carry over the top. That's off the bar. And an unfortunate follow-up as Mike hits the sidewall. A little bit dazed and out of the play.
And this is going to be interesting to see how Absolute Leverage handles this. Is Mike going to feel like, okay, I have to take control here. I have to make plays.
What else do they got?
I mean, yeah, you've got this dynamic player in your team, but it could end up hurting you. He could put himself in positions where he doesn't need to be there.
Well, here's what I'll say. Devil's advocate. Rodoko and Kinsey, not done much. You're game 3. You're down 2-0. What else are you going to pull out?
Hey,
I mean,
Rodoko and Kinsey are the only ones that have gotten on the board. Mike, 2 goose eggs in game 1, game 2.
But if we're talking about X factors, that's where like you need someone like him to step up. Like it's do or die.
I agree.
1000% correct.
Oh. No defense out of that side corner. 2 players from Absolute Leverage on the back wall. Neither one go for it, and Buddy, he's going to hit these all day.
They're double committing on the side of the wall. You already have someone there. If anything, if you're going to stack your side, just put 2 players in the box. You don't need to double commit on the wall. You have boost to get it. Do you have boost to go for the challenge? It's questionable. It's questionable plays. Now we're going to move it into the corner. Absolute Leverage could be looking at a 2-0 deficit. They're not careful. Buddy over the top. They have numbers at midfield, and here comes a triple commit. And they spread it out, but no one able to follow up. Now trying to center is Kinsey. The pass not there. On the other side, it was a demo, but Rodoko now trying to set it up for someone to follow up. Challenged one by Warriors International into the other side, a minute 36.
Uh-oh, and a whiff is gonna lead to an open net. Jay Wismont gets his 4th of the series. Puts Warriors International up by 2.
Well, this series is over. I see 0 reality where we're going to overtime.
You know what?
I don't want to harp on bad taste, but what in the world is going on with Absolute Leverage? They look so flat. You have a stellar X factor. You have 2 players who, yeah, they've gotten a goal this series, but you also
There we go. Look at you, naysayer. See, this happens.
Prove me wrong. Take me to another game. I'll be fine. But it's taken a lot to get to this point. Finally, some life. But there's what scares me. Even with these goals, and we usually say, oh, now life's interjected. You see no life. Let's see if that'll change. Here's a carry. Oh my goodness. Stopped on the wall, Wonder Mike with the save. And another commit. This Thunder.
No one's going.
Down. You have 3 players sitting in the box, no one challenging. Wonder Mike has to come out of goal. And these long clears are going to favor Warriors as it burns time and gives them advantage positionally. That ball is going to be up for a challenge. Kinsey will win it. No one to contest. He's got no boost. An interesting commit. And now you have 3 players falling back in transition. I mean, this could have been a goal if it wasn't for Wonder Mike flying back to the front of the line. It's going to be hit off the backboard. That should be a goal.
Great read from Buddy. These shots are so hard to make, especially when you launch it at the backboard like that. He's able to retain that ball just close enough. Puts it on target.
3-1, Warriors International. Just picking absolute leverage apart. Defensive side, Warriors International completely shut them down. And with only 15 seconds, unless a miracle goal comes through now, which that looked like their best shot today other than a couple of goals. Truly a disappointing performance from Absolute Leverage, as they will lose this one 3-0 in what was not even remote.
Whoa, 3-1. Oh, the entire series, my bad. I'll never correct you again. I'll stop.
It's okay, buddy. I mean, honestly, looking at it, it could have been 3-0. The game wouldn't have changed. 5 shots, 1 assist, 1 goal. I mean, hats off to Warriors International. They of course, 3-0, great win. But especially after losing 3-0 to Mirage and 3-1 Omni Nation. But Absolute Leverage, man, we need to have a talk because that was pathetic. That was bad. That was really, really bad. Flat is an understatement. You cannot, in week 3, with so much riding on these players, with so much prowess on Wonder Mike, you cannot come out that flat and not respond with even tying the game up in crucial moments. Like, the defense was horrid. The commits were horrid. The spatial awareness in net was horrid. This was bad. It was bad. Take it away.
I appreciate the positivity, throwing it back to me. That's very nice of you.
I don't want to be mean. Look,
no, you're not
I
being
know,
mean.
I don't want to be.
You aren't being mean.
I expect players to continue to obviously work, and I want greatness out of them. I want greatness out of each and every team and each player that comes in this league. But you're here, and I want you to fight for what is yours and what you want. But you cannot come out like that, man. It's just you earned your way here, and to play like that was just so uncharacteristic. I don't.
You know
like
what?
It.
I'm gonna put you in timeout right now.
I don't like it.
We're gonna allow Spaceman a little time to breathe, a little break to cool down.
The team is so good and has so much potential, and Wonder Mike is so good, and they cannot play like that again. You can't.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Can't happen again if they want to get the W. But let's see if the Phoenix can rise from the ashes as they are going up against the sizzling Stromboli. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And with that, we come to our fourth and final match here on the North American Rocket League Rival Series. Happy to do so, and happy to watch that last one as well. Subi and Spaceman, an interesting one, the opposite of what we expected. Warriors International taking over Absolute Leverage. I had kind of set the table here talking a lot about Wonder Mike and what he would be able to do with the squad, because what we've watched him do in the past, this time around, though, just like flat out not there. And you were very critical. And I think that you have a right to be very critical on this team, but I think this is a learning process for Wonder Mike.
Yep.
This guy is going to be a future superstar, and there are two things that there are two scenarios that superstars get dealt. Either you get the one where your teammates are helping you out, like we saw last time around, Rodoko and Kinsey, and then he just has to fill in the blanks, fill in the holes. It's important to learn to step back. At the same time, for superstar, it's important to learn when to step up. And when your teammates are kind of swinging and missing like we saw this time around, Wonder Mike has to step that up. That said, first shot in the Rival Series, this is where you learn. So I'm here for you with a negative criticism, but this is also the arena that you make those mistakes.
Yeah, no, I was incredibly harsh, and I do feel pretty bad about just how I feel bad about how the series went, clearly, for them.
Of course.
I was very harsh, and it all comes from, again, it comes from a place of love. I know that this is Rivals, and again, this is where you make those mistakes, because when you get up there, you can't afford to make that. And I was really just basing this off of last week. Their offense was high-powered. It was phenomenal, and I didn't see it here, and I felt like it should have been here.
Well, we know their potential. We know what they're capable of, and this one just didn't feel right. They came out, and the clock is ticking, and you could tell none are related to Captain Hook. None of them feared the clock whatsoever. Like, you gotta feel it when there's 30 seconds to go, you're down by one, and people are letting the ball hit the ground. Like, you gotta just go for it. I don't care if you triple commit at that point. Show that you're being aggressive there.
I'm here for the big picture. I like that they lost this one because, as I said, this is the one that you go back and watch the VOD. Sometimes you get a loss that you can learn nothing from. There were clear mistakes, and I think that Absolute Leverage will go ahead and learn to fix it. Warriors earn their first win of the season. They are now 1-2, and things start looking up for those guys. Coming up next on the docket is match number 4. We've got Charlotte, Phoenix, and Stromboli. Karma, Shadow, Turaturo, J-Pow, Alvarez, and Heck. Andy will be on the bench for the Cheesy Boys. Let's talk Charlotte Phoenix. Let's talk these players. Karma and Shadow got a lot of the spotlight and conversation at the beginning of the season, and as things have settled down, boy, am I tuning in to Turaturo.
This is a dangerous team, and the pickup of Turinturo has been nothing short of fantastic. This was the player that the Charlotte Phoenix needed when they got rid of Jay Wismont, and you couldn't have picked a better player to plug and play. He matches the speed of Shadow. He matches the smartness of Karma, and with that combination, it's just a brutal roster to face up against.
Yeah, and Karma's goal last week, I know we all saw it off the wall, was one of the best goals we've seen this season. And you said it perfectly. This team has everything: brains, bronze, muscle, all of it. It's all there. They did lose last week to Absolute Leverage in Game 5, but they have what it all takes. I mean, Karma, she's a phenomenal player. Turinturo, we could talk years about him. So they have a very tough matchup in Stromboli. We're going to get into that.
That's the thing. Stromboli, #1 team in the league, and Charlotte Phoenix. Karma constantly reminding us that she was an RLCS player and just might be again in the future. Money where your mouth is, Subi. Who's taking it home?
Ooh, this is a hard one because we didn't even really talk about Stromboli much. They've lost one game this entire series, or season rather.
They've played 10.
Not a series,
10.
a game.
Yeah,
They're 9-1 as far as games are concerned. So yes, Charlotte Phoenix are fun to watch. Charlotte Phoenix are dangerous. They up and down the roster, yeah. But there's no way I can pick them. Not going up against a team like Stromboli. Are you kidding? No way.
I think the scary thing for Stromboli is, 1, no one expected it. 2, the fact that they're now 3-0 means something clearly working. Other teams haven't figured out. 3, Stromboli's ball placement in general is just beautiful. It's great. And that's what scares me, is you can have all the brains you want, but if you can't outplay them on the pitch and they're sitting at 9-1 in map count, that means disaster's coming, and I'm taking them in this series.
A lot of what I do up here is kind of illustrating the storylines, and I really enjoy kind of looking to the community for that. I sit in the Discords, I sit in the streams, I look at the Reddit, and everybody seems to have a beat on who's going to win. Except for Stromboli. This team came out of nowhere. Nobody realized it. Nobody knew what to expect, wins or what I expect here versus Charlotte Phoenix. I think everybody's looking at Stromboli and going, where do they come from? Who are, like, we kind of know their name, but this performance has absolutely surprised. Word on the street is that nobody really expected this. And when I look to you, Subi, you're the veteran here on this desk. You and Stacks have been here for a while. I mean, when was the last time you were this surprised by a roster?
Last season.
Yeah.
Last season, we saw Team Discombobulators in EU come out and just, who are these guys? Where did they come from? And how are they playing like this? And it's the same story with Stromboli. Like, who? Who are they? And these guys are making sure that you don't say who. You know their name.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun to kind of watch these guys come out of nowhere. We've spoken a lot about Charlotte Phoenix and Stromboli. Spaceman, last statement before I give it to you.
There's a lot of times teams catch lightning in a bottle and they come out of nowhere. They run through the league or they create a presence and people are like, how in the hell did they do that? Where did this come from? And oftentimes we see them split up and they try to substitute a player and they think is better and things fall apart. Stromboli, you're 3-0. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. You found lightning. Just leave it at that. Yeah.
Gonna leave it at that. I mean, this is the match. There's nothing else I can say to make it more with more gravity. So, boys, do it.
Well, we're gonna get this is gonna be great. We're gonna get a really good series to end the day. We've had one kind of slow one on either side to start. Now we come into fold. Charlotte Phoenix again. I mean, Karma was phenomenal last week. But Stromboli, man, the silent killers, 3-0, 9-1 in map count. Something is clearly working for them to come out of nowhere and be sitting at the top.
I mean, they're playing perfect Rocket League. That is the only way to describe the fact that they've only lost one single game. I get we're not too far in the season, but oh, look at the shot coming out. Double tap right into the upper 90. You can't defend it.
How quick could it be? You know what I've talked. We've commentated a bunch over Weedham Girls, and we've talked about all of their strengths, how they could be sitting at the top. Stromboli, man. I mean, they could be sitting at the top. They are like the North American Weedham Girls. This is a star-studded roster, and they showed you why right there. Karma now trying to carry. She doesn't get the final touch. Shadow does, however, and they're going to respond immediately. Now, one apiece.
The bait comes out from Karma to get the defender out, and then I love that call. You got to see Shadow call off Turinturo. The comms are active and alive for this team, and they strike back instantly.
Brains are there. And let's remember, this is Heck's second week playing. He was out week 1, and they had a substitute. So Stromboli has been undefeated with their sub, now undefeated with their full roster. That spells success for a lot of teams. Heck will go up for that challenge, has no boost, bumped out of the way, and J-Pal follows suit. Turinturo's gonna sit at the top, and just gonna slightly top that forward as Karma will begin to move it into the corner. She does win the challenge, and that was a follow-up shot that didn't connect. Back into the corner we go, Charlotte Phoenix on the attack.
Another dangerous shot off the ground. Love these types of shots where you pinch it, it bounces up. It is so hard to read as a defender.
No boost, no problem. Great placement. Karma, showing you why she's a player to look out for forever. Still 3 minutes, 4 minutes to work with. 2-1, Charlotte Phoenix. Stromboli on the back foot. Heck carries it. And here comes a second shot just off the post. And it will be J-Pal. He has to fall back in transition. And it's knocked away by Alraz. Now Heck has a completely wide open lane before it's intercepted by Karma. And Charlotte Phoenix playing great defense to send it the other way. And now in transition, let's see if they can find an opportunity as Turinturo wins the challenge, but it's still Heck who's able to find the last touch.
Good pinch there from Heck on that side wall. Defender was not expecting it, and a far pass doesn't go off the ceiling like expected, so it's going to lead to a turnover. Good pass forward from Turinturo, and that's one thing that the Charlotte Phoenix are so well known for is the passing plays up and down the field. They are just so team-oriented.
You have Charlotte Phoenix with great passing. You have Stromboli with great ball movement and placement to go along with it. Truly even matched we are. That's going to go off the ceiling, but it will be Shadow who does manage to get a touch. And it's up for Karma. She gets a hit down, but it's stopped away. Heck with a demo. And Alraz now following. Turinturo slows it down. He's going to go up. He's going to knock it forward. Karma centering herself, waiting for a hit over. Shadow in the back line, grabbing boost, does miss the hit, and here comes a break, but it's immediately knocked away by Karma, who then follows up in recovery and is able to slow it down. Turnturo will be at boost. He misses a hit. J-Pow carrying. J-Pow able to win it. Over to Heck. Heck didn't have a good angle. Shadow over one defender, no. Into the corner we go.
Great drop down there to get that ball back to Heck. And the difference maker of this series could be the 50-50s that we're seeing coming out from Stromboli. They are just continually winning them. But not with shots like that. Alraz has to leap on the goal line, gets the save, and keeps Stromboli within one.
It's been incredibly back and forth. Here comes Karma with a carry. Karma not able to finish. The play was there, the execution just not enough. Turntoro flips it over his own goal line. That was so dangerous. And back into the corner of Stromboli as they finally get a clear they were looking for.
Oh, key demo from Turnturo. Dangerous clear, and they get punished for it. Tie ball game, minute and a half to go.
That was a great clear by J-Pow. You can see Shadow trying to follow suit in transition. Wasn't able to get enough power behind that, and it left it wide open for Alraz to come in and immediately scorch it into the left half.
It was a good demo to take away that player because that pass was going forward to him, but just a very poor clear, and I know Turanturo's not happy about that.
Tell Alraz was throttling back just a bit to wait for the timing, and he connected perfectly. Stromboli tying it up with a minute 22. Over the top is Turnturo. The redirect not going to land and sent back to midfield, and J-Pow will follow there. Karma wins the challenge. Shadow does not.
Open net!
3-2. Heck making it look easy.
Shadow needed to get that touch there, and Heck just reels that one in. And just like that, Stromboli take the lead.
Just great wins on either side. Stromboli was able to find a hole where it looked like there was none. And again, they control their half. Alrad's going to send it to the corner. It will be cut off. Turnturo now to the other side. Following is Turnturo, but J-Pow gets a nice hit. And back up to the ceiling as Karma follows in. She misses one defender, but Heck will send it the other way. Alraz slowing down, trying to time this last bounce. And he gets the hit, and it could go, no! Just too wide.
Great challenge. Read the play the whole way and just could not bring it in. It's a difficult shot. You can't really practice it, but Turnturo, way to reel that one in, put his wheels on that backboard so he could get his flip back to push it forward. But 20 seconds to go. Charlotte Phoenix need to get out of their own half, and that is an opportunity as that shot rings up too high.
That's a great save by Turnturo, but Stromboli has been reading all of Charlotte Phoenix's passes. They've been neutralizing them. They found a way. And in game one, it looks like it will be Stromboli. I mean, what was an incredible showing from both sides. As this ball is still up, Shadow flicks it to the side. And
still up.
Intercepts it, back to Shadow. Shadow up, Turnturo, no. Alraz cuts it off, and that's gonna touch. But again, Stromboli cutting off those passes and perfectly reading all of Charlotte Phoenix. Perfect plays from either side. It was just Stromboli who had a little bit more of an edge, and that's exactly why they found that goal.
They are so dangerous. They can score just out of nowhere, it seems like. And for a team like Charlotte Phoenix, who doesn't make too many mistakes,
yeah,
those crucial mistakes that we did see both got punished, and that was the difference maker here in game one.
Yeah.
If they're going to take Stromboli down, they have to play legitimate, perfect Rocket League.
There was one wide open net, but other than that, man, it was just counterattack after counterattack from either side. And Stromboli, like, it doesn't look special when you're watching it, but you have to know that that's why it is. It just looks so simple. Oh, they're just intercepting these passes, nothing going. But the fact that they're reading these plays out and they're in the right position constantly, I mean, it's so good. There's a reason they're 9-1, now 10-1 in map count. This team, all of a sudden, we're looking at them like, okay, 1 and 2 spot open. Stromboli, welcome to the party.
I swear, we always get the best games to end the day.
We really do. We really do. Whether it's Europe, North America, we get the greatest games to end.
It's the best way to end it. Yeah, you know?
You love it. But I can tell that this could go the distance. This could be a game.
I hope so.
3-0, 4. I mean, I hope it does too. I really hope it does. And again, we talk about chess matches, man. This is like checkers, but high level. It's just back and forth, back and forth. And Give me the game 2. I'm going to stop talking. Just give me the game 2. I want to see what happens. I want to know what you guys are thinking in the chat. You think Stromboli's going to run away with this one, or could we be looking at a game 5? Does Charlotte Phoenix have what it takes? The brains are there. So is Stromboli's. They got the thinking caps on.
Oh my goodness, the crown pinch. Just so dynamic. Shots coming from nowhere.
And that's going to be a demo now, 3-2. Make it 2-2. Now back to full numbers. And a challenge in the air, 1. Karma did have a good carry, but here comes Turo off the backboard. No double touch. Shadow again to the side. Knocked away. And Charlotte Phoenix have about a couple of seconds to follow this one in. And Alraz gets back into play and sends it the opposite way on a booming clear.
Just a great job of reading the field from Stromboli. They know when to short clear it. They know when to long clear it. You don't generally see this coming out from a rookie team. And Turo rolls this one up the side wall. Good pass to Shadow. But there's Heck again with the clear up to a teammate. This team has no problem breaking out of defense.
It's so well read. Where did this team come from? Alraz, find your first goal. It's going to be J-Pow off the side of the wall.
And Turo with that hit forward to the center of the field. You hate to see it. His teammate was not expecting it.
Ball placement is chef's kiss. It's perfect each and every time.
He literally wrote chef's kiss.
I did.
Just FYI.
Just so I wouldn't forget, because I do often. That's a story for another day. Shadow now carrying in midfield. It's intercepted. Heck wins the challenge. Turo wins the battle. But again, Stromboli back into Charlotte Phoenix's half. Karma slows it down. A dangerous one to the corner. But Shadow will carry it up to the side of the wall. Now off the ceiling. Shadow with no boost. 2 defenders back for Stromboli. That's going to bounce right up and over the goal line. And a demo does come through, but it's intercepted and kept away from the net.
J-Pow not only got his own boost there, but also got the ball out of his half, put a shot on target. Turo flip reset, no way, not gonna happen. The defense so strong from Stromboli, the clears are even better. They don't even need midfield control right now. They just have no problem breaking out of their own half.
They've been able to stack the left side of their box each and every time, but they just follow it up with great plays. Being able to break these passes open and create mismatches on the fly is what's kept them ahead in this league. Shadow doesn't get the hit. That's going to be off the back wall. And Heck now over. That's just a little too high. Anyone to follow up? No. Falling back in transition is J-Pow, but it will be Alraz right over his head. And a follow-up from Turo. He knocks on the board and ties it up.
Made a few mistakes. He's not going to make one here. Great flick off the glass there from Karma. Turo with a laser beam from the box. 72 miles per hour. Good luck saving that one.
Charlotte Phoenix has so many weapons. Shadow, Karma, Turo. Each individually skilled, yes. Brains, absolutely. Mechanical ability, no question. They've put it together before. It's just about continuing to execute. On the other side, Stromboli. I mean, they've found ways to neutralize everyone they've played. It's been incredible. Heck now. A lot of boost, not a lot of time. That's going to be back into Stromboli's half. Alraz is going to carry. Flicks it over 1. Heck over the middle. No redirect. Into the side. Turo again with a bad touch. And back to Stromboli we go.
You say bad touch. I say that's a cheeky redirect there. That is so unexpected. And Heck gets a lucky bounce there as that rolls up towards the ceiling. If that bounces off that side post, that's danger territory. And again, has to be there for the save, holding down that goal line.
Shadow goes up. Now carrying. No boost. It's okay. Never mind. J-Pow clears it out. And that's going to be stopped by Turo. Sent to the other side where Shadow will be. He now has boost to work with. But again, a good defensive hold from Stromboli, and here they come on transition. Turo is able to poke it out and into the corner for Heck. Ball back in Stromboli's half. The follow-up from Shadow sends it up for Karma. She gets a hit off the backboard. 1 minute remaining. Still tie game.
Another 50 going in favor of Stromboli there.
And that's going to be up. Alraz should meet it first. He does. Into the side, no. Shadow got a touch. That's dangerous, but J-Pow sitting patiently stops it in its tracks. Heck carrying it away, centered in front of the net, but Stromboli easily take it away. And Shadow's gonna knock it forward, extending the play, no. Heck following over one defender, now a 2-on-1 in the box, but again, good defense from Charlotte.
Yeah, they've countered well here in game number 2. Shadow almost getting that touch. The pass coming out. Charlotte's got to be a little cautious here. They're starting to push forward. Time is ticking down. Alraz able to get this ball out, and smartly Turinturo tries to let it hit the ground. He does so, and overtime we go.
That's what we like to see. This is exactly what we want. Challenge won by Stromboli. And that's going to be Alraz. Flicks over one defender. Oh my! Roll it in. Yes, sir. Heck, hello. We've done it. 2-1 Stromboli.
Holy heck! Look at J-Pow coming in, trying to take Turinturo out. And heck, all he has to do is throw some body weight behind the ball, and Stromboli go up 2-0 in the series.
Got him slipping, and now it's 2-0 in the series. 2-1, of course, game 2 score. You can see it on screen. We don't got to tell you twice, but it's important to note that that went the distance. And what that means is that this series probably will go to distance. And that means we get more casting to do, which is good for all of us. It's good all around. That's exactly what we want. But I am just so impressed with how both these teams just are playing this. It's honestly like two AIs reading each other constantly.
Yeah.
And they're just back and forth, and then just one AI becomes more evolved. Like,
Machine learning.
Yeah,
you're seeing it in front of you.
It's just like, do you want to play a game? It's just back and
Oh,
forth.
please no. That's scary.
I love what I'm seeing. Again, just lucky breaks falling to Stromboli. And the fact that they're 3-0, 9-1 map count, now 11-1. But you got to think, okay, maybe there's a weakness no one was exploiting. There's no weakness here, man.
Well,
they played a well-oiled machine in Charlotte Phoenix to the T, and they won. Like,
normally when we see rookie teams come about, they're very 1 or 2 dimensional. This team is 4 dimensional. They're coming out and it's just a match of strategery out here. It's just so fun to watch that from game 1 to game 2 is so different.
Yeah.
They're not the same team when you watch them every single time. You can't.
So good.
That's why they can't be beat. You just can't figure them out. It's like, okay, what are they doing right here? I don't know. What are they doing?
I mean, we're getting quiet, just sitting here watching, like, it's like, we're waiting. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. Do or die moment, game 3. It's been a 3-0 in series 1 to start. We can hope this one goes the distance, but I would not be surprised if it doesn't. Shadow with a hit up, and it's going to be Turinturo now following back. Stromboli is surprised the madness.
That is a hard defensive touch there. Waterfall right in front of the net. You're backwards. Your camera is spinning in circles. Man.
And J-Pow gets knocked out of the play. Now Turinturo with a shot up. Alraz should read that all day, every day. Yes, sir. I'm going to take that away.
And then he face planted into the dirt, but able to recollect themselves. And Alraz with a good catch. Not the best flick, but a good 50-50 top of the box. That shot off the ceiling. Heck, puts this one in. Stromboli cruising along.
I love this. Alraz puts a hit up, moves immediately out of the play to follow back and swing around. Heck comes in, gets the redirect, so in case he misses, you have Alraz behind you who could possibly fall back on transition. If not, go for a second touch on the ball. I mean, Stromboli just wow. Just wow, man.
It's hard to watch this team and not have a smile on your face. They're just so fun.
It's matches like this where we see everyone's full potential. That it's a treat. This is what Rocket League is all about. It's beautiful. It's poetic. Makes my elbows tingle.
I want to go to a doctor.
Yeah, I don't
for
know
that.
if that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
Shadow
Drink
now.
more milk? I don't know.
I drink water, sir. Good day.
Oh, Shadow says quid pro quo. I'm going to stuff this in your face. Nice little pass in Turinturo. Good follow.
Talk about moving yourself inside the paint and dunking. We run on that here. Now tied 1-1. Face off. won by Stromboli. Heck, almost won a second goal. And knocked away by Karma. She sets up for a pass downfield. Heck wins the defensive battle. Here comes Karma over the top. That's dangerous. Alraz knocks it away. J-Pow with the second. That's booming. That could be dangerous. Just off the side. And it's still up for Heck to grab. Stromboli now moving in, trying to get their teeth sunk into Charlotte Phoenix.
Just gets so much power behind that ball. It's got to be so frustrating when you're going up to challenge and just knowing that this one's not going to get past him.
Stromboli now sitting inside goal. They knock it up. Here comes Heck over the top. It is not redirected. A good stave off from Charlotte Phoenix will slow him down for now. Over the top. Oh my God. Alvarez just said, I will paint this with a long brush, and there is nothing you can do about it except look at the ceiling. Oh my goodness.
Oof.
What an angle.
71 miles per hour from the sidewall underneath the crossbar. That ball had no curvature to it.
That was like throwing a dart.
That was a dart.
Enjoy the view, because it's 2-1 Stromboli.
And that is now 3 games in a row where all 3 members from Stromboli have gotten involved, whether it be a goal or assist. When a team is playing that well together,
Communication,
just comfortability,
synergy, chemistry, communication, spatial awareness, everything. I mean, that's what you look for in pro teams. That's what you look for.
Oh, they got him!
Easy, 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 easy. We didn't have to say nothing. We knew it was going to happen. You knew. We all knew. If you didn't, sorry, you did.
And a very rare triple commit coming out from Stromboli. You saw 2 members go that absolutely didn't need to. The panic set in on the goal line. But still, 2 minutes to go here in Game 3. Stromboli with a big 2-0 advantage in the series. They got to still feel pretty comfortable here.
Oh, hold on a second. Well, I thought for an opportunity for Charlotte, but they weren't able to continue the play. J-Pow now, back to Heck at midfield. Never mind, in his base, going to carry it out. And J-Pow with the redirect sent into the corner on the left hash. Turinturo couldn't get a hit, and that was off the top bar. And here comes transition defense. Karma carrying. Oh my word. No, not today.
Oh, that was blinking. It was in the net, and Alraz with the clutch save. Charlotte Phoenix getting so close to that goal line, but Stromboli continue to just batter it down the field. The ground pinch to put it on target. Heck is on fire.
I could smell the goal coming.
No, that's just Stromboli in the air.
I'm really glad that I'm next to you right now. I'm glad you're in my life.
Hey, me too. You know what? It's awesome to make new friends in
All
life.
we get to do is look at great matches in Casraga League. What better is that? Not much.
Nope.
Stromboli with a 3-2 edge in Game 3, the decisive one,
Oh.
series point. I mean, the hits have been there from Charlotte. It just, they haven't had a couple of good breaks. That's a demo on Karma. She's going to come back in 2 seconds. Now she's back. And that's over to J-Pow off the ceiling. And Karma takes it away. And here comes a carry from Turinturo. Love the aggressiveness from Charlotte Phoenix. You got nothing else to put on the board except aggressiveness.
And now Stromboli just have to hold on for
that's
20
such a big-
seconds for their 3rd sweep of the season.
That would have been a big goal, but that hit stalls it out for now. Here comes Karma. Alraz takes it away. Shadow still in their half. No boost, however. All 3 players inside their box, now moving out. Can they burn time? Up. That's going to be 3 seconds off the clock. You got 2. You got 1.
Oh, do it. Do it, baby! Shadow brings us to overtime in Game 3.
We're not looking at 12-1 anytime soon. You got to work. Double commit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 3-3. 3-3, baby. We're going to overtime.
This ain't no pickup
This is what we
game.
wanted.
This is the rival series. You're not going to get dubs easy.
Oh, baby. I love it. That's a flick back. Alvarez now carrying. JK. That's Turinturo. 0 boost. Karma now up. She knocks it forward. That's 3 players now hovering for Stromboli. You can tell they're starting to turtle a little bit. Here comes a pass forward. So dangerous, but J-Pow. Oh my, the Guardian Angel. Slowing it down, bumped out of the box. Karma rotating around. They're circling like piranhas. Dun 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 dun. Pass, no. Again, up for Stromboli to make a play, but they can't seem to find any momentum.
They need to get out of this right corner because Stromboli is just
here.
Hey, keep it there. That's fine, no problem.
Oh, we're looking at a game 4. Here comes a pass down, easily knocked away by J-Pow. Maybe this is the clear they needed. No. No boost. Shadow now. By is lonesome. Karma, she can't find it. Turinturo up the wall. Carrying. Can he spike it over? No. Challenge won by Heck, but yeah, players there. Somebody's got to make a play. Turinturo's going to carry. Let's see if they can set up a passing play. Or Shadow's underneath. Shadow's waiting patiently. The Sharks are in the water, but it's a transition attack.
We just witnessed a minute 20 of pure offense from Charlotte Phoenix. And look at the redirect, but somehow Alraz back on defense, holding that line.
See if they stack. No, back to midfield. Shadow and Karma falling back. Turinturo's there, now up to Karma. Heck and J-Pow are the only ones in that corner. J-Pow now out of the play. Heck by himself. J-Pow in debt. J-Pow goes for the challenge, misses. Shadow is there, but Heck does get it as well. Alvarez there as well. They're going to move this one forward. Karma back into her corner. 2 minutes in overtime. J-Pow with a hit. Alvarez over the top. Oh, baby. Alvarez punches it home. 4-3. Yes, sir. We are done. Series wrapped. Oh, I love it.
J-Pow just puts it on a tee for his teammate. And that angle is disgusting. Stromboli take the series 3-0, get their 3rd sweep of the season.
Matchup that was. You boys are catching your breath. And I will pretend to be composed. Because that one was that one was.
Cheers to that.
You know, at the end of the day, I used this phrase earlier during the European guys. This was a litmus test for Stromboli. We've seen them come out and kind of do their thing and do their thing very well. But Charlotte Phoenix is one of the best of the best of the best, sir. And so when it comes down to it, can you do what you did in week 1 and 2 versus these folks? And the answer is yes.
You can't, it's not like Charlotte Phoenix didn't have chances.
No, I love this. I mean, AI, back and forth. Just the Sharks circling in the water. They could smell it. They're there. And there's nothing bad you can say about Charlotte Phoenix. They played it amazing. They played great all series. This is just, we are looking at a different level of team in Stromboli. This is unreal. Both teams played phenomenal, no question. But when it comes down to just back and forth like that, and each team checking each other out, seeing what's up, I mean, Stromboli played it perfectly, man.
You could see the machine learning.
Yes.
In that overtime, there was a minute 20 of straight
no error.
offense from Charlotte Phoenix.
I was going to bring that up. You know, you learn offense kind of first in Rocket League. And when we watch the rival series, you generally expect a lot of shots on goal, and a lot of them go in that might not do it at the top level in the RLCS. What we saw here in overtime, that defensive set coming out. Also, shout out to Charlotte Phoenix for consistently peppering the net over and over again. And I think versus the other 8 teams in the league, they bring us to a game 4. But Stromboli standing tall and able to put it down here. I mean, that defense was impressive.
Well, they just saw what Charlotte Phoenix were working with and said, okay, we're figuring out, okay, I get it. 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, 4 + 4 is 8. And then you see that passing play come out of nowhere. Yep. And Stromboli, that, you're winning championship series games with those types of plays. That is incredible.
They spent 2 minutes stuck in the box, fending off Karma, Shadow, Turinturo consistently. And all of a sudden, they get one break. And a team like this, that's all they need. They just need one break. And all of a sudden, boom, game over, series done. Charlotte Phoenix played phenomenal, but Stromboli played better. And it just, I loved that match. It was great.
So here we look at Stromboli just absolutely, I won't say trounced, but they took Charlotte Phoenix to the end goal. They got their sweep. They got their sweep versus Phoenix. And so my question is, how do you take them down? Who is going to find the hole and then abuse it?
You need a rabbit's foot. You need some tarot cards. I mean, good luck. This team.
You better hope that one of their players gets sick and doesn't show up.
Yeah, I
better hope.
Yeah, so bring in Andy. Like we saw what happens then.
Like, dude, I honestly don't know. I mean, real quick, I made that point to you when we were in sideline saying like, this team. It's not like they're playing flashy. They just are better. Like everyone's involved on everything. Goal, assist every time. This is like the most well-oiled machine in North America right now. A lot of like Weedham girls, but with less mistakes than Weedham girls has in some commits and defensive issues. Stromboli is the best team in this entire season right now. I mean, 12-1 map count, like unreal. I don't know how to beat them.
Subi, again, I go to you for the veteran expertise.
Oh boy, it's dangerous.
Is this an RLCS team?
This is. It's hard to say. It's early in the season.
Because don't forget, for our format, the number one team auto goes up. Right. If that happens, can they compete?
At this point, from what we've seen, 100%, absolutely, no problem. They could put themselves right in the pack. I don't see them winning the world championship by any means, but do I see them at 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere in that range? Yeah. Could they get 4th and go to a world championship? Sure.
That's crazy. For right now, they're in the rival series, and they're number 1. Stromboli, undefeated, top of the crop. Omni Nation still undefeated, 3-1 wins under their belt. Mirage finds their first loss here, and that's Win Place Show. Chaos Esports still putting up a good fight. And then down there at the bottom, Absolute Leverage had high expectations for them. We're just halfway through, though. They can turn things around. Everybody else, we will see later on. Of course, don't forget, we've got our Rival Series broadcast. It's every Friday, and the alternate stream here. Don't get here on the big boy desk. Still entertaining and a big part of the season. Honestly, a lot of those alternate stream matches, that's where we see, the bread break. That's where the teams kind of create themselves. So looking back at this day, Subi, I mean, I know the answer. It's last game, but give me a highlight.
Oh boy, probably it's got to be the overtime ender that we just saw. That was nasty. That was so nasty. I mean, what better way to end the day?
No, I agree, but I know I was, again, harsh, but I want to take this in a positive light. I want to say that Charlotte Phoenix, even though they're sitting at 1 and 2, I think, they're the best team in that 1 and 2 group, but I am so impressed with this team. I think they have such a high ceiling. Everyone is so phenomenal at it. I mean, they played the series great. I really am excited to see what they're able to do. Karma was phenomenal. She's great. I'm excited to see teams in that middle pack 1 and 2 range. I want to see where they go. They can turn some heads, and they could steal the show from Stromboli. But, again, just that overtime.
I want more Stromboli.
Oh, dude.
That could be them next season.
If it was Game 5, I would have had a cardiac arrest, and he would have to carry me off this stage.
Hey, I know CPR. We'd be fine. We'd be good.
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
A good time was had here at the Rocket League Rival Series this Friday. This weekend, more Rocket League. The RLCS continues Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow, of course, will be North America. I already warned you about the alternate streams. Get watching. Thank you so much for joining us. Myself, I'm Tom Battinger. Those are my casters. That's my production. You're the people that matter. I will catch you next week.